And we should now be live. Let's see. It looks like it is working. Hello, hello, everybody. Okay.
Hello.
Let me make sure.
Merry Book Club.
Hello, hello. I have that up. And now I'm going to hit post and ping, and you're going to get pinged.
No.
It's going to happen right now. Too bad you got the ping. Congrats. Congrations, even.
Congrations, you've done it.
Congrations. What was the Ghostbusters one?
Oh my god. I think Shadow's the one that would have that screenshot on hand, unfortunately.
I probably have the screenshot somewhere, too. I think he posted it in one of the channels before, too.
I took the day off work today, and now my mom's mad at me.
Oh, jeez. Does your mom want to do your job instead, then? That's what it sounds like.
That's what I'm saying, dog. I'm gonna be able to pay my rent this month, so I don't see what the issue is. I literally did the math before I called out. I was like, if I don't work today, well, I still have worked enough hours to be able to pay my rent this pay period. And the answer is yes.
Base. Welcome, welcome. Alright, we're still waiting on a couple people. One of which is a new addition to the book club group.
That's so exciting.
So
Can we bully them relentlessly?
No, do not do that.
Not for the first one. After the introductory one, it's
Oh my god.
It's a free
fair game.
It's actually it's actually the person we rated last week. Traveler Aria was interested, and so I told her, like, if she wants in, you know, we just go up to chapter 34 for this next meeting. And she got back to me saying I know you told me to read to 34, but I kind of read the whole thing.
I mean, it's a good manga.
And I'm like, based.
Yeah, real. That's why Shino isn't here. Or part of it, I think. I think it was that Shino had read it all.
Oh, yeah.
Multiple times.
Welcome, Bigetti. What happened? What has happened?
What's going on?
What has happened?
We were talking, and I said, "Man, I can't hear what Chap's saying over this music." And she goes, "Oh fuck, book club."
What?
It's not my fault.
Oh my god.
Real.
We're almost all here now. It's okay.
Yeah. Tired of streaming to 0? Let's change that. Okay, alright, let's get rid of this guy. Let's get this guy out of here.
Could that possibly be a kick comment?
What we do actually have a real kick chatter. Now, mind you, though, this is just Turndo. This is just Turndo in here. But that is, in fact, a real kick chatter, though. And then we also had a spam bot come in.
So many asterisks by it.
Listen, okay, he wrote, there's a cool emoji in there. It's called cool emoji. And then he wrote, what's that? A kick chatter. That's what he wrote. And then a spam bot came in. So, you know, I think we've summoned a spam bot in that chat. So that's based.
No one can deny that Turndo is a real person.
Okay. Let me just ping Aria as well, in case she doesn't know that we are in this chat. Are we missing anybody else? I think this is pretty much everybody, right? Because Shino's not going to be here this week, most likely next week for the finale. I hope so, at least. I hope we get to hear from the Sayaka fan club. Okay, we got to hear the Sayaka takes.
Ari, leave.
We just got to read the novels.
Base.
Dang.
I do need to read the novels at some point. I never have yet.
They're really good.
Oh my gosh. Do you guys want to hear a story?
Sure, what's up?
Do we?
So I met someone during art fight. And we ended up like reconnecting after art fight and like hanging out and being friends. And they revealed to me on Monday that they were also into Familiar of Zero before we met. This is the first person that I've ever met, I think, that knew Familiar of Zero before I or like wasn't through the book club. Like I found them randomly on art fight because it was their first year doing art fight, and we attacked each other back and forth. And then I was like, hey, can you do a commission for me? And they were like, actually, I like your art so much, I'll just make you some art for free. And so we've been trading art of ROCs back and forth. And then I got a sub on my Twitch stream on Monday. And the sub follower is when Saito starts his fight in the anime, his first fight. Because, you know, my fans are all knights, Nion's knights. And so you're fighting for me when you sub or whatever. And they were like, holy shit, is that Zero no Tsukaima? And I was like, what do you mean you recognize that? So now we're best friends.
Incredible. Amazing. Well, I had leftover pizza tonight. It was nice.
And I've asked them multiple times if they read Umineko, and they were like, no, but I saw the anime and it was pretty okay. And I was like, please, I need you to read it.
But they've already seen the definitive version.
A couple of the art
We don't need
attacks
answers.
were the ones like based off of Umineko panels and stuff. And they were like, oh yeah, I saw the anime and it was pretty okay. And I was like, hey dog, the anime only doesn't even cover like half the story. And they were like, oh, so I really need to read it. And I was like, yes.
Did she not realize it?
Not
when...
only do you not get the answers, you don't know half the questions.
I was gonna say, did they not realize nothing was solved at the end? Did they not notice?
I don't know.
Listen, a lot of anime at that time that were like clearly adaptations, they just were like that. Like the lower budget ones, especially like the Pandora Hearts one is the exact same. There's several
Here's your
others
vague
that like
plot
they
synopsis.
just
Make a show.
yeah, and they just like they don't even try to finish the series. They just like kind
Stop.
of yeah, they just kind of like end the season, like they tie it up where it's like, okay, this is clearly the end of the season, but and then their journeys continue, fade to black. Like that's just how a lot of them were at that time.
How it is.
Next time on Dragon Ball Z.
And that's why you should read
Dragon
visual
Ball
novels.
Z.
Look, there's
All
a
of
reason
them?
Vegeta's hair was red at first.
Huh? It was?
Yeah, at the very start of Dragon Ball Z, they drew him with red hair. Because they didn't get told what it was supposed to be.
They just forgot, dude.
Oh, he's the main character? Give him red hair.
They forgot. Y'all are being so mean.
Listen, okay, look at him. Just look at him. Hold on, I'm posting it. Just look at him.
I don't know.
Nah, that looks like a fan edit.
No, that's it. No, that's it.
Bruh.
That's not a fan edit.
It's the exact same energy
Hold on,
as green-haired Kaima.
I'm gonna show it on stream. Don't worry, I'm showing it on stream in a second. Once I get this WebP to work. There you go. This is red-haired Vegeta. There you go, and then I'll show the green-haired Kaiba for scale.
Unfortunately, I kind of fuck with green-haired Kaiba.
I do fuck with green-haired Kaiba as well.
I think they should have kept it.
He just looks like that bug kid's older brother.
Wait, green-haired Kaiba window. Here we go.
Yeah, sorry, it's a gift. It's a gift that I have favorited.
I'm trying to find a way I can download this shit. Hold on, I'll just directly download. I tried to download the GIF. It didn't download as a GIF. It downloaded as a still image of the first frame of it. But you know what? We're going to drag that onto the scene. It's very low quality, but there you go. There's green-haired Kaiba. There
I mean,
he
really,
is.
that should be in your streamer elements regardless.
I
True.
agree.
These are now both new members of the book club as well.
I'm gonna make that my profile picture.
Now
like
here's
how we did
blonde
break.
Sayaki.
Yeah.
I don't know. JoJo does it all the time.
We also have we still have on the scene. I didn't delete it yet. The jellyfish mascot thing that's here in the scene somewhere.
Which isn't a jellyfish.
Wait, where's Break? He's not there anymore.
He's gone. He's gone. I'm
I
sorry to
fucking
say.
killed him.
What
I'm
the-
sorry to tell you. I'm sorry to be the one to bring this news to you.
do?
This is a flapjack octopus.
Yeah.
I can't
I-
believe she's a takodachi.
Man, I had to Google if those were a real thing after I read that. And they are, and they're fucking adorable.
Flapjack octopus.
Honestly, I kind of love how like into aquatic life you is.
It's cute.
It's you are, thank you.
Mm.
Damn.
There are many advantages to being a marine biologist.
The woman.
It just looks like pancake batter.
It looks like the kitten of the sea. It's so cute. What the hell?
All right, so here's what we're gonna do. I haven't heard from Arya. I don't know what's going on. If maybe they're busy with something right now. So we'll just get started, and if they join in, they're more than welcome to join in the middle of things like we've done before with people. So we'll just go with that. So let's get started, gamers. There we go. Welcome, everybody, to another exciting episode of the Anime Book Club here on YouTube, Twitch, and Kick all at the same time. We are here to continue our discussion about Bloom Into You. This week, we're discussing volumes 5 and 6. But before we get into that, let's introduce our guest that we have here today in alphabetical order, as I see it on Discord, as usual. Andy, introduce yourself.
Sup, I'm Andy. You'll find me online as Nyan Bacon if you want to go check out my art. I use he, they pronouns, please. No she, her. I do not like it. And one thing I recommend is buying commissions from me. I do art. Thank you.
Based. All right. Thank you so much for that. Next up, Andromeda. Introduce yourself.
Oh no, that's me.
Yeah,
Hi,
that's you.
I'm
Yeah.
Marianne or Anne. Is it?
I hope so.
You don't know?
That's true. I don't. I can't.
That's true. I've been lying to all of you this whole time.
Oh, that's impressive.
You know, for fun.
Is it fun?
Yeah, actually.
Okay, cool. Go on with the intro. Go.
So anyway, my recommendation this week is going to be Other Side Picnic because it's really
Ooh.
good and I'm dying.
In general?
Yeah,
Oh.
don't worry about
Alright.
it.
Did Sarah recommend that to you?
Yes, she did.
Yeah, she loves it so much.
And she's right.
Whenever I think of it, I just think of her.
Sorry,
It's
is it
so
other
real.
side or underside?
Other side.
Other Side Picnic.
Okay.
Other Side Picnic. Yes. I've seen a bit of the anime. I wanted to check out the light novels at some point. Maybe I still will.
I like the anime okay. The novels are just stupidly good.
Makes sense. All right. Well, thank you so much for that. Next up, Arimia Yuri. Introduce yourself.
It's Arimia Yuri. Thank you.
Oh, I'm supposed to read Discord tags now too? Oh, sorry, my bad.
So
Yuri squared.
yeah,
Oh, okay.
Yuri squared. Yeah.
Okay, all right.
I'm Arimia. I like shonen shit. My recommendation. I don't know. I finished Pride and Prejudice yesterday. Took me quite a while to finish it. It was all right.
Do you feel
That's
pride
about
or
it.
prejudice?
Yes.
Yeah, that's why it's
Alright.
called Pride
No, I'm
and
sorry. You have to pick one.
Yeah.
Duality of man.
I saw
Wow.
a Tumblr post a while back that was like
She's dodging the question.
a game show where you had it's like a proposed game show where straight people, like the sort of like very concerned and like
Oh,
hyper
God,
aware
this
straight
post.
people have to try to guess whether a joke was said by a gay person or a homophobic person, and it would be called Pride and Prejudice.
It's a fucking classic.
Joke's on you. It's the same person.
See.
It's Ari.
Yeah.
Yippee!
Was there Yowie or Yuri in it? That's the real question. I haven't read it, so I wouldn't know.
I think that
I
answers
take that as a no.
Well, thank you so
There was
much
this
for
fucked
that.
up weird like Frankenstein thing of the both of them, where there was
Yeah.
a boy and a girl who liked each other. That was weird.
Sorry.
That's why it's so popular, actually, because she pioneered that idea.
Oh, interesting. Interesting indeed.
Yeah,
Huh.
Jane Austen invented heterosexuality.
She did. It's quite impressive, you know. The Regency era really brought things.
So Soul is in the Discord chat typing, actually, it's the Frankenstein's monster.
Aztec, go.
Thank you so much for that, Arimia. Next up, Aztec, introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Aztec. I haven't consumed new media recently, so watch Gabriel drop out. It's funny and the girls are cute.
Oh, all right. Absolutely. Go check that out if you are interested in that. Next up, Iron, introduce yourself.
Hello. I'm Iron. I use she, her. I definitely cried this week. So excited to talk about it.
Yo, same.
Same.
Let's see. Recommendation. There is a anime, and I believe it's also manga, but I could be wrong about that. It's been a long time since I've seen it, but I remember it being very cute and having very chill, comfy Yuri vibes. Which is called Amanchu, and it's about a pair of high school girls who are learning to scuba dive.
Oh, okay. All right. Interesting. Have to
It's been
check
quite a
it
long
out.
time since I've seen it, but I remember really liking it.
Okay, all right. Check that out if you are interested in that. Anything else, Iron?
I don't think so.
All right, thank you very much. Next up, me, Nanami Borg, aka Wolfborg, aka Chaplain, aka the best anime book club host you've ever known, ever, of all time. There is no qualifier with that. That's just it, okay? This week, I'm going to recommend two things. I'm going to recommend two things because one of them I feel like is kind of cheating. The first thing I'm going to recommend is the game that I just started streaming, which is Metroid Zero Mission, which is the first Metroid game I've really I mean, I played a little bit of Metroid Prime growing up, but that's a very different experience. And so this is really what I consider my first Metroid experience. And I meant to test it out like the day before actually streaming it. And I think I ended up playing it for like 2 hours during that test. It's just really, really good. So that's one that I feel like is cheating to recommend, though, because it's Metroid. The other thing I want to recommend is a movie I watched the other day, a horror movie called Grave Encounters, which is a found footage horror movie featuring one of those cheesy ghost hunting show, and they go to film their 6th episode, and weird shit starts happening in an asylum that they lock themselves into. So it's very good. Did you just try to like haunt me? Was this like a ghost sound?
No, I was like, yeah, Vicky, we need to watch that.
It's very you would probably very much enjoy it. It's very funny, especially in the beginning too. You would really enjoy it probably. So that's Grave Encounters. Grave Encounter. Apparently there's a sequel. I didn't know there was a sequel until we finished it, and I was like, holy shit, maybe I got to check that out too. So there's that. So there you go. Metroid, Zero Mission, and Grave Encounters. You get a game and a movie. Have a fun night with that.
I'm watching that.
Yeah, you do that. Next up, Turando. Introduce yourself.
Everyone, I'm turned out and I like to read.
And that's all you need to be here, really. So thank you so much for that, Turando. And next up, Baguetti. Introduce yourself.
Hello, I'm Spaghetti. Tick tock, tick tock. Romeo's on the clock, and
What?
you appear
What?
to be nothing but talk.
What?
What?
That's it.
This feels like one of them inside jokes. Should I be concerned?
Yippee! Yeah.
Chap, I think
Oh.
you've entered a saw trap.
It's time you need to exit the
Enter
stage.
a saw trap.
Exactly.
Before you is book club manga volumes.
Why risk your life for another? How can you even conceive of it?
Book club starts in
It's
20
true.
minutes. You have 3 volumes to read. Good luck.
Yes, 3 volumes of Umineko.
Oh my
Dear
god.
Lord.
All right, thank you so much for that, Baguetti. And with that, let us
You're welcome.
begin. Let us begin our. I mean, did you have anything else to say, or was that all you had? I just want to
No.
make sure. All right, cool, sweet. Thank you so much for that, Baguetti. Now let's begin our discussion about Bloom Into You volumes 5 and 6. Oh my fucking god. Okay, so we finally got to the play. That was pretty much the bulk of volume 6, I believe. Volume 5 was a lot of stuff leading up to it. Particularly, we ended last week with you saying that she wants to change the ending, or at least wants Koyomi to try to consider changing the ending. And so, through the events of this week, we have proposed a new ending to mixed reception once we did. And by mixed, I mean pretty much only Toko was against it, for personal reasons that we'll get into. And then they did end up doing
We
the
all saw
play.
that coming.
I mean, yeah, obviously, yeah. And then we did end up doing that new ending, and then we got to see the play acted out. I will say, I was surprised that we actually got to see the play fully play out, pretty much, because it felt like at this point we had pretty much heard everything that they were planning to do with the play. So I had wondered what benefit we would actually get from seeing it acted out, because we're like seeing it happen both like in the like discussions between them and obviously Toko herself as a person. We're like seeing it already happen. So I was
Yeah.
it was interesting to me to actually see it happen as the play, and we did get a lot of added stuff that I felt did make it very very nice to experience. We'll get into that
Yeah,
more
I
into
was
detail.
surprised they.
Yeah, go
I
on.
was surprised they played it out in full as
Yeah.
well.
It was
kinda
very
felt
nice,
like a
though.
recap episode.
In a way, it did, but in some ways with it, I can understand why we did it like that. I have a couple notes about that kind
Oh,
of stuff.
see, okay. I'm surprised. I'm a little surprised by this. I really, really liked it, and I'm so glad that they did it.
I agree.
I will
I think.
say,
I mean, I don't
think to
dislike
not do it
it.
would be
I was
no,
just
no. But
surprised
like,
they did it.
I think it's essential. Like the way that the
Right.
story flows. I
Yeah.
think to not show the play in its entirety would actually gut its emotional effect.
here's a question I will say. Do you like the fact that we heard about what the new ending was going to be before we actually got to see the play out? That's an important question I was going to bring up this week, because we basically are told what the new ending is going to be in its entirety before we actually get to see it play out. Which is important for the discussions prior to it, because Toko's going through a lot of internal debates about herself, considering what she's recently learned about her sister, being that she's only really known one side of her sister. So it's the main big thing with her this week is the fact that they're asking the ending to be changed, and not only they're asking the ending to be changed, they're changing the ending to one that's essentially saying that Toko's decision in life is currently wrong, and she feels that immediately, which is why she immediately does not want to do it. So that is an important question, I feel. Do you think it is a like, do you like the fact that we got to hear exactly what the play's ending was before we actually got to see it play out?
I mean, we kind of called it last week anyway, didn't we?
Well, we essentially did, but it's still one of those things. Because, like, okay, I'll explain this for a stream. Last week, we had talked about it, and I think we had pretty much had thought we're probably going to change the ending to something related to Yu's character, being that she's a nurse who's like a separate character from all the three characters of the play that she's supposed to pick a side of her life from. Because the nurse character is not really going to know anything in her past lives. She's really going to be like a person who knows about the current new self that she is. And I think the only thing was I had predicted that she was going to just somehow end up spending her life with the nurse or whatever, or like choosing a new life completely unrelated to those other three. But that's not really what happened here. I kind of really liked how we handled the ending a lot more than that prediction here. Because how do I? Okay, where do we start with this? Do we go into the play stuff right now, or should we go into the stuff that builds up to the play stuff first? If you want to go into the play stuff first, we can go into the play stuff first. But
I mean, there's not much of the build up to the play stuff. I will say that I was surprised. Well, that's also partially going into the play stuff. Of just like how willing Nanami was to go with the new ending, because she doesn't want to at first, and she even blames Saiki. You know, you were supposed to say no.
Yes.
But she just still goes along with it. And we even see in her monologues that like she wants to go along with it. That she does really want to like have that change to her. So I was surprised by that. So. Does that make sense?
It does. It does. I
also assumed there'd just be a lot more pushback than there was.
Yeah, I assumed that there would be a lot more push and pull, at least internally with her, of going like, I don't know, you know.
Yeah, I think I agree. Like, I think I also had that expectation, and then I thought about it a little bit more, and I was like, actually, like, it does, because like Toko does want to change. Like, I think that, and that was not always the case, but I think it sort of became true early enough that although she still had that reaction, she was actually willing to sort of work on it, I guess.
Yeah.
I
guess I was just expecting it more to be that the play was going, like the ending changing would be the catalyst for changing her, where she sees, okay,
absolutely.
This isn't such a bad idea. This actually worked out really well. But yet I was so afraid of it. But now I feel a lot better. When instead it was more, I want to change. I really hope this works out. I still think it's fine. It's just not what I was expecting.
So my thoughts on that line of thought is, when it's proposed about the new ending, they bring in the new script, everybody reads it, and she's like against it at first. At first she's kind of presenting it as if like, I have the most lines, so this is a lot of work for me to do all of a sudden, and then she tries to turn to Sayaka to have her backup reject again, and when Sayaka doesn't do it, now she's like, fuck, now I have to do it because everybody's expecting me to do this shit now. And the kind of person she's been up until then, trying to pretend to be her idea of her sister, she's kind of like, all right, I'll do it, I'll do my best at it, but the time afterwards, she's just like, I don't want to do this really fully, at least. But she is in the point of like questioning it because of the whole, should have a conversation with Sayaka in private now about like I don't, you know, I'm trying my best to be like my sister, but now I don't know if I know my real sister. I am pretending to be a version of my sister, but I don't know if that's how she actually was to other people, which I think was very important for her to isolate and worry about, particularly because when she talks with Sayaka about it more seriously later, when she confronts her, like, why didn't you say no to the ending when I was very clearly signaling for you to say no to the ending? And she was like, you know, because Sayaka and you at this point have both talked and have an understanding of like they both do want Toko to give herself the opportunity to realize that she can change. She doesn't have to pretend to be her sister, and this is a good opportunity to do that. So despite how Sayaka wants to support Toko in whatever way she can, such as if Toko doesn't want to do the ending, she wants to say that, yeah, no, she doesn't have to do the ending. But in this case, she knows it's for the best for her, and she Sayaka is starting to grow and realize that, like, I have to be kind of like you in some of these ways and do these kind of things to try to actively worry about and help Toko, as opposed to just worrying about her but just supporting her and feel like that she can only really handle herself or whatever. This is kind of why you is kind of more immediately appealing for Toko in a way, I think, because like she or better for her than Sayaka in a way, because, you know, both Sayaka and you both care for Toko, and they both have the same ideas about what's best for Toko, but they are very different in handling how they approach these things with Toko. Sayaka's too scared in many cases to actually voice these concerns, whereas Yu is not as scared. She's still kind of scared in some ways, but it's not as much as Sayaka, who will just say nothing about it and just try to quietly go with whatever decision. And what I'm trying to say with all this is, like, that mixture of not you know, everybody kind of expecting Toko to do this ending, mixed with Sayaka not backing her up and saying no to this, kind of made Toko realize, okay, I have to do this now. Everybody's expecting me to do it. And through the conversation with Sayaka, and then later on the conversation with you, the conversation with you was very powerful, I thought, that she had later, once after she got mad talking with Sayaka. It was very,
and
very impactful.
Andy had a comment about that as well in the
what's
chat,
that?
if you want to.
I
can read it out. So,
yes.
Yeah, Andy said their internet is being funky. So they said, the reason I didn't notice Nanami not having as much pushback as everyone would have expected is her response to the way she's handling things being called wrong was so visceral. And I think it was something that was really important to allow you to sort of re-bridge that gap between them. It was a miscommunication that was addressed well, because you wasn't really calling Nanami's way of approaching it, quote unquote, wrong, even though that was how she interpreted it. And I think that was enough for me to go, okay, her reacting that viscerally is where most of the pushback was from.
Yeah, because yeah, it I don't know, in a way, yeah, I kind of agree that it was a miscommunication. The important thing to understand is, of course, that you know, it's a miscommunication because all of them are trying to help out Toko to realize that, much like her father kind of says, like, she's pretending to be her sister, but she doesn't have to, is the main thing that they want her to realize. If she wants to be like her sister, you know, that's up to her, but, like, she doesn't have to, is the important thing that they don't think that she understands and accepts. And so, you know, and
also that she can be like her sister without being her sister.
Exactly, yeah. And I
she
think
can still be her own human.
And I believe that speech that you gave kind of encapsulates it perfectly for me. She's saying, like,
yeah,
okay, you're trying your best to be like your sister. None of us know your sister. We don't know what she was like. Like, you can pretend to be like her, but we're not going to know if it's wrong. You're not going to know if it's wrong, too, because apparently you don't know what she was like to everybody. Like, the person you are, we all care about the you that you are, in that you are working hard to pretend to be your sister. We don't care about your sister. We care about how hard you're working to pretend to be your sister, essentially. Which, you know, we more so see you working hard in that kind of sense. I kind of felt like that kind of line of thinking is similar to like if you're taking references from other artists for your own art, it's kind of like no matter how hard you're trying to reference that and learn from that other artist, you're never going to be that other artist in a way. And so the ways that you are attempting to work hard to replicate somebody else, or, you know, look up to a role model that you have, which we also had a chapter like that for Koyomi, it's always still going to be you, even if it's heavily influenced by somebody else. You know, we have different ways of being influenced by these things, and even if you're trying to copy it really a lot, you are still putting in your own influence into it in a way. And so, you know, Yu's speech is kind of just imparting that, like, this is what we see. We don't know your sister at all. We never knew your sister at all. So we're not going to even know if you're wrong about that. And we're just trying to, like, let you know that, like, you can choose to do what you want with this, but we care about you yourself and the things that you're doing. You don't have to pretend to be somebody else if you don't want to. Because several times we've had Toko say the line of, like, I've felt empty, and the only way I felt like I could fill this empty void in me is by pretending to be somebody else. And she's only really thought up until the play, because she's like, after the play, this is the play my sister didn't get to perform. What's going to happen to me once this is done? What am I going to do once this is done? And by the way, with that, I know Andy has typed stuff in chat, though, so I should pause before my next thought. Okay, what's the new things that Andy typed in chat? Was it the I feel for her parents thing? Or was it the...
Yes, it is.
Okay. Andy said, I feel for her parents. We don't get a lot of that, and I think that it's sort of a noticeable embodiment of Nanami's isolation, but, like, I know I did the same thing Nanami did after my dad passed, of just self-isolating and making it look like it didn't get to me, and it resulted in this rift between myself and the rest of the family, and I don't think they appreciate much. I don't think they appreciate much. Okay. You can read that loud, by the way, I don't mind. Okay, all right. So, I mean, yeah, because it was interesting to see those interactions with Toko's parents. They don't happen often, and most of the scenes with her parents are just her father saying, you don't have to be your sister. She's working all hard to do it. But, you know, of course, they still went to go see the play. And then I think they left it. We'll talk to her when she's home. But it sounded like they were going to have, like an important discussion with her about these kind of things when she gets home. And that they were glad that she got to see that kind of thing through the ending of the play, you know. So it sounded nice that they were able to do that. I really liked not only that we got that ending to the play, which I felt was perfect. We also got the aftermath of that, which was immediately showing Toko that you can, in fact, have your own hobbies and, like, careers and futures. Like, immediately the theater troupe director lady was like, hey, do you want to be an actor? Have you ever thought about that? She's like, I've never thought about it. I've basically been doing it my whole life, but but we didn't talk about Dojima. I have it in my notes for us to talk about Dojima throwing hands, but we ended up talking about the play first. So it's in my notes for it. Don't worry. It's in my notes. Yeah. There was a thought I had that I wanted to stop to read Andy's thing for first. Oh yeah, it was, she kept saying, what's going to happen when I'm done? And Andy, since the beginning, has been theorizing that somebody is going to fucking die since the beginning, I think. And now we're having those scenes where she's like, what's going to happen when I'm done? And then as she's saying that, she's like standing next to train tracks. And I'm like, I don't like that imagery with that line. I do not like that.
We're actively talking in the spoiler zone about the fact that we thought she was going to kill herself.
Oh, you guys are talking about the...
No, I mean, I knew she wouldn't, but it does, the entire framing of it is so incredibly suicidal.
So, like...
It's very much like her
implication.
It's her having those thoughts and then having it at, like, almost the last moment, maybe, interrupted by a text from you.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Which, you know, who hasn't been there?
Sure.
There has to be a meme like that out there somewhere that we've referenced before about that.
Okay. So, there's a lot to unpack about the play still. I think want to jump a bit back to a couple things I wrote down from before the play actually started. Oh yeah, because one of the first times she's like questioning, once it's all over, what do I do? She's like at her sister's grave, talking about like how she's pretending to be her sister is all she knows, and she doesn't know if she's the real her. Once it's over, what am I gonna do, and all that. Which I was like, oh, this is getting very dark. And then we go on a trip to the aquarium. We have a nice date to the aquarium to try to make her feel better. Not that you realized that she was thinking about that next to train tracks or whatever. She was just like, hey, you wanna go see the dolphins and stuff? I forget what the text actually says, but they had a very cute aquarium date.
You.
I miss you. Yes, I remember she's like she's typing out the text at first. I miss you, because she hadn't heard from you in a while. And before she could hit enter on it, that's when she got the message from you saying, hey, you want to go to the aquarium or something like that? You want to hang out today? And she's like, oh, and then she hit send on it anyways. I'm like, that's a weird way to respond to the text. But I guess it's fine, but it was like, hey, you want to hang out today? And it's just, I miss you. It's like, okay, I'm right here. I asked if you want to hang out. I'm right here.
It sounds a little better in Japanese, but yeah, it was a little goofy.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I see the do you want to go out somewhere? I want to see you. I see. So that's the version the fan translation wrote. Okay, all right.
Yeah, I think that's a better translation, probably.
I will also say, for this week, I guess somebody on the official translation typesetting team realized that they don't have to bold every single, like, one word in every single fucking bubble. Because I only noticed it a couple times this week, and it was more appropriate. They stopped doing that now, so I was glad for that. Because it was pretty jarring the first few volumes. But that was, again, only in the official translation. Yeah, so we had a cute little aquarium date happen there. We had a cute little aquarium date. I wrote a couple little things that they did there. They bought flapjack octopus charms, matching charms even. We find out later they both have their own charms, I guess. And you is like,
why are aquariums a thing in like aquarium dates a thing in Japanese media?
Well, you know they're a thing here too, right?
Well, no, I know that, but I feel like I see a lot like
it's a very common trope.
It's a popular date spot.
It is.
Yeah.
There's a joke about it being like also a Yuri trope specifically.
It's very much yeah. I think it's very much a Yuri trope, actually.
Oh, that I understand. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like all romance animes have the beach episode, the aquarium episode, and all Western cartoons have the time travel and the body swap episode. That's more of what I was alluding to.
Festival with the fireworks. Don't forget that.
Yeah.
We'll get to
sparklers.
I'm guessing we'll get to fireworks before the season is done. I don't know how long they go into their season or whatever.
Well, they have the sparkler scene already.
Oh, that's true. That was what, last week, or that was during the training camp, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. So we had that. Okay. All right. So we
had the sports festival and the cultural festival.
You gotta have that. I mean, you gotta have that.
Gotta have that.
If they're in a school setting. We just have to
get to the one where they wear yukatas. Have we had that one yet?
We'll probably get to that.
Natsumatsuri. Yeah, we had the Natsumatsuri. It's when they were watching fireworks. Right? Wait, am I making this up?
I don't think they had yukata on.
I think they were just wearing school uniforms. I don't think they did the classic.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, we still have. Sorry, we still have the yukata and maybe the fireworks to get to, and then we'll have completed the.
Is lighting the sparklers an actual thing when you go on a date? Because I don't think you do that in like Western culture, where you light a sparkler with your date.
No, but honestly,
I've never done
committing arson on a date would definitely be the most American thing to do on a date I've ever heard
That is
of.
true. That is true.
Just putting that out there.
That is true.
I mean, we put them on cakes now, so I guess that's like something.
I mean, that's true. Yeah, so though, what did we have happen here? They got the charms. Yu was like, I don't know where to put this charm, the flapjack octopus charm, because Toko has a matching one, and she didn't want people to notice it at school. She was like, maybe it'll be fine. And then she's like, oh, Sayaka's gonna see it immediately. Don't want that. And she's like, maybe I'll put on my keys. And then her sister immediately walks in and is like, hey, can I borrow your key? It's like, okay, well, I'm not having that either. I think her sister then...
And then her sister walks in and sees her holding it.
Yeah, I saw her holding it. Yeah. And she's like, you've been grinning, since you went out that day, huh? What happened then? She's like, no, I haven't been grinning. And then she's like, all right, let me just put this away. Opens up a drawer full of a whole bunch of Toko memorabilia in there. I'm like, oh. This is very cute.
Gonna have to transfer it to the closet and make a shrine soon.
Yeah, so...
And then her sister's like, wow, I hope it's her and that Nanami girl are getting along.
I think she even, there was like a mini chapter later on. I don't even think it was a bonus chapter. It was an actual chapter. It was a pretty short regular chapter where her sister takes her to go shopping with her because clearly you wanted to ask her about something. And it was, when you started dating your boyfriend, like who asked who out first, or something like that. Because clearly she's thinking about things with Nanami and their current relationship, I guess. I was kind of confused about it because I was under the impression they were technically already dating and had already said as much, but I guess it's like a little different in a way.
No, they're definitely not dating. I mean, because Nanami has still said, like, you cannot fall in love with me, right? Like,
yeah, but she said that when, like, at around the time early on when she's like, why don't we try going out, right? Was I misunderstanding this? They've like...
Well, Nanami is very definitely dating you. Yu's not dating Nanami.
I mean,
yeah, Nanami
that's
won't
true.
let you date her. Like,
that's
Nanami
true.
is saying, no, you cannot date me. I can date you, but you cannot date me.
That's a very good point. That's a very good point. Okay, all right. I understand what you mean by this. Okay, so either way, I understood the scene to be clearly Yu wants to actually, like, she's very clearly at the point of understanding that she is having feelings for Nanami more so than she thought she was capable of, and she's trying to find some moment to express that to her. And that did happen, but it was the cliffhanger for this week, the very end with that. Oh my god. That okay. Fuck.
Yeah.
They're like walking home and they're like, let's take the long way. And they go to the place where they had the argument before. And I'm like, oh no, this place gonna be another argument or something's gonna happen. And
She had picked a place with worse vibes.
By the way, yeah, I keep thinking one of them is gonna fall into the water one of these times. I keep thinking one of them is gonna fall into, because it's like there's like a couple like stone things in the water to cross the water, I guess. But I don't trust it for these girls to be having their emotional talks on top of. So they're having to walk over it. And this is the moment where Yu finally feels like saying that she loves Nanami, and then she's like immediately covering her eyes, not looking at how Nanami's reacting to it, and like is not hearing how Nanami's reacting to it. She's just like, okay, all right, bye. I'm freaking out about this. This is a mistake, and then like runs away. And then we cut to Toko's view of it, where she's like saying like, listen, we can kind of, I don't know how I fully feel about this, but I kind of think it's okay now, was kind of the vibe I got. I don't know. All I know is that she was like, trying to chase after her in a way, but like that's where we kind of ended it. or like trying to hope that she didn't
Toko
run
had
away.
like an internal monologue for that, but all
Yeah.
she said out loud was "I'm sorry."
Oh yeah,
And
yeah.
if someone says "I'm sorry" to you confessing to them, it's
Yeah.
I kind of think that didn't really matter too much, though, in the grand scheme of things, because it seemed like you was gonna
you was
bolt.
not.
Oh
Yeah.
She was
Yeah,
not
absolutely.
listening.
Yeah.
Not even.
You was running away as regardless, but yeah, the scene did feel like
She
to me
didn't
that like
register what Toko said until much later.
yeah,
Sorry.
no,
Yeah.
she didn't think about anything about her. But yeah, I read it as like Nanami just immediately had that clarity of like, oh yeah, I've really hurt her. I need to apologize to make things right. And
Right.
then he runs away. And it's like,
Yeah.
well, at least we're getting closer to a resolution.
We're getting somewhere. Don't know where
I'm sure
that
it'll all
is.
end well, right? What could possibly go wrong from here?
They're gonna go to this fucking
Train track.
river walk thing right before the end. Someone's gonna fall into
Train
the
tracks,
water.
river, rain.
Train tracks, river.
gonna bridge to Terabithia this.
Upwards rain.
Oh my god.
That'd go crazy.
Nanami gets cast in the play of Macbeth.
Oh my
Other side
God.
picnic reference?
There's so many ways to go perfectly well.
Oh, I think Discord broke up for me for a second, but I think I'm back. Okay,
Yeah, I
so
think it kind of freaked out for a sec, but
don't worry, everybody's gonna be very
Soul
happy.
just sent
to
in
end,
the in the spoiler channel the frame of you saying I love you.
Hey, look what I saved. Thanks, Soul. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Why do you have that saved?
Oh, that panel, man. That
Obvious
panel
reasons.
just killed me, man. It really did.
Yeah, because she's like saying, I'm so sorry, but I think I've changed too. And then she says, I love you. Like the full panel page. I was like, oh, fuck. And I'm going to show this on stream. Right here.
Yeah, that just gutted me.
Is it F? It's F.
It was great.
Control F. It's like, fuck, dude. Oh, now this is going to fight me. Why do all OBS things like to fight me? There you go. Very, very...
Because it's OPS,
I think they can take you.
Man, because like, you know, most of the series we're worried about like whether or not Toko will change. Will she be able to accept that she doesn't have to be her sister? And through all this time, you know, at least at the beginning we were wondering about you because we're following her for the most part, so we're like seeing a lot of her internal stuff, so we're like, you know, she's like not understanding her feelings in some ways, and now she has finally spoken up to realize like I have also changed along with you through all of this, and I do in fact love you, but I've been terrified to say it. And I really enjoyed us going to Toko's internal thoughts after this happened, her hearing that and immediately processing all of that like instantly, where she's like, oh, she's grown to love me. That means for a long while she's probably felt like this, and I've been scaring her away from speaking her feelings to me because I've literally told her, don't ever love me.
Lie.
Yes.
Yeah, I love that. I was so proud of Toko in that moment. I was like, thank you for having some self-awareness. Like,
yes.
Congratulations.
It is unfortunate that she had... Oh, yeah, go on. I think...
Just like, these entire 2 volumes were way more maturely handled than I thought the series would do it. Like,
that makes sense.
These seem like normal human reactions to a lot of things instead of typical manga bullshit.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, I think one thing that this series does so well is misunderstandings and miscommunications in ways that aren't just infuriating.
Yeah.
Because
They're
so
like
often in
very
romance manga,
reasonable. Yeah.
misunderstandings and miscommunications are just so ridiculous and so solvable in 3 seconds, but not the
Yeah.
case here, and it's great.
Yep. Yeah. And like even in this scene, we have a huge miscommunication in a way, even though you might not be fully processing it, where she has all these internal thoughts. Toko has all the internal thoughts where she's like, "Oh, that was kind of fucked up what I was making her feel through like, you know, telling her not to fall in love with me or whatever. She's she's been lying about her feelings all this time for my sake." So she's trying to respond to that by first saying I'm sorry, and then probably planning to go into more detail about it before you just runs away.
Bolts.
Yeah. So, you know.
Yeah, before you become Sayaka.
Yeah.
Very flapjack octopus coded of her, if you ask me.
Oh my god. Because you know,
That's
the position you is in right now is the terrified condition or like moment that like Sayaka is too terrified to like attempt, you know, like Andy had mentioned, or somebody had just mentioned. I forget who had just mentioned Sayaka. You know,
that was me.
You. So yes, and Andromeda.
No, and not you.
Oh, true. My bad. You know, Sayaka has only really not made progress with Toko primarily because she's been too scared of confessing her feelings and it ruining their entire relationship together. She's so scared of it, she doesn't want to attempt it. And this extends beyond just her feelings. This also extends towards, you know, speaking up about anything she's worried about with Toko. Whereas Yu has felt more comfortable doing that, but now she's at the point of trying to actually confess, and that's very terrifying with the side of Toko she has come to learn about, who believes love to be a violent word. So yeah, I felt at that moment, I felt the terror that comes with confessing like that you had tried to go through there, you know. Like that moment of trying to confess to somebody you like and you're so terrified about what the outcome is going to be, like that in general is already kind of scary. It's probably even worse in Yu's situation with this, with the dynamics of what's going on with Toko. Like there's a lot to unpack there. So yeah, man, there's that's how we ended the week. Fuck me, dude. Like
You're welcome.
God damn. Fuck.
Agreed.
So that's how the volumes ended for this week, but there was a couple other scenes that we haven't mentioned yet of some of our side characters prior to this stuff. We had a whole first of all, we had a bonus, I think, chapter about the cafe owner and the teacher who are going out. A little mini thing where the cafe owner, I believe her name is Miyako, she finds out that Riko got in contact with her old theater trope person to help them out with the training camp, and was like, was it a guy or a girl? And I guess this scene is where we find out that Riko is bi, I guess. Was that supposed to be the understanding, that Riko is bi? Because they had the conversation afterwards.
I don't see how you could read it any other way, to be honest.
Yeah, because she's bi, and she had the conversation when she came home where she's like, do you prefer guys or girls more? And I think Riko had tried to say, I think I don't really particularly prefer dating girls, but you're an exception, or something weird like that. I forget how she worded it, but it was something like that. And they were like, fuck it, let's just go home, I'm hungry. I'm like, all right. All right. So that was a little bit about those two that happened. I thought it was very cute that we got to see a little bit more about them. Because I was wondering how much of a role we would actually get to see of these two characters. So I was glad to get a little bit about them. More interesting to me, though, was the Koyomi chapter. Koyomi had a whole chapter, and I think Andy was also excited for it.
Koyomi chapter.
Yes. Yeah. Hell yeah. So the Koyomi chapter was Koyomi has just been asked by you, can you come up with a new ending? I want an ending where she doesn't necessarily choose any of the past choices. I don't know how we handle that though. Can you figure something out, Koyomi? She says, sure, I'll figure it out. You're going to be working with me to figure out some parts of it later or during the process. So for the Koyomi chapter, she is going to visit. She won the chance to go to a signing for her favorite author, whose name I don't remember and is probably not that important anyways. But she does go to see the author. She's waiting to see the author, and Maki shows up, I guess, because you gotta have somebody else there to talk with her, I guess. He did not win a ticket to there. He just kind of showed up because I thought maybe I could buy a pass at the door, but I guess not. So I guess I'm just here now. And they have a talk for a bit. I guess they both enjoyed the author, but Koyomi is very clearly not only just enjoys the author, but is also they're a huge influence for her writing. I think Maki even said, your scripts really reminded me of one of her other works, and they listed like a series name or something like that. So very, very clearly, Koyomi is hugely looking up to this author. And then Koyomi is thinking to herself constantly, like, what am I gonna ask them? Like, what should I even talk about? Should I ask about like writing process? Should I just ask about like this, that, or whatever? I don't know exactly what to say. When I do get up there, I'm not gonna have a lot of time. What do I do? And then she goes up and she finds out the author is a woman. I guess the whole time she had envisioned the author was actually a man, but like they usually kept themselves private, so she didn't know for sure. And she was so shocked by the fact that it was a woman that she pretty much didn't really get to ask anything in the end. But they had a little talk about like that, where she's like, "Oh, did you expect me to be a man?" She's like, "Well, I kind of assumed you were, but it's not really a big deal that you're not. I just was surprised by it is all." And I think she got the chance to say, "I've been hugely inspired by your works," and then tried to go into something else, and then the guy was like, "Yeah, time's up. You gotta go." And so she did go, and that thought kind of stuck with her the night afterwards, because she's like thinking a lot about the fact that she got hung up on that, and more so, I think she was kind of wondering whether or not that changes how she views her works, I guess. I forget what the implications were for that scene. What was that?
Never meet your idols.
Never meet your idols. Well, I mean, depending on the type of person they are, like it could really change your perception on the things that they've worked on in various ways. It can happen. It can happen. But I mean, in this case, because Maki was like texting her, like, were you disappointed or heartbroken or whatever? And I think she had wondered to herself if she had a crush on the ideal, her idea of what the author was supposed to be. And now that she's found out that it's a woman, this has been altered in a way. Things like that might have been going through her head. I don't know. But in the end, she kind of resolves to like say, you know what? I kind of want to, I missed my chance to ask her the things that I wanted to this time. So I'm going to finish this script, then I'm going to do another. And then eventually, I'm going to win this contest that person's a judge in or whatever. And I'm going to rise to become an author that can actually work alongside my role model there. Which that was very inspiring. That was very nice. I think Andy's typing in chat some things. I had a moment during all of that where it felt like the chapter was talking about a different kind of love than what you was seeking. That kind of fan club adoration love rather than infatuation with someone else. And I like that kind of in-story comparison. And then also because so much of what you was talking about in the start was, wow, Nanami was so cool. I wanted to look up to her, I wanted to admire her, and then it became something more. And to me, this chapter felt like an alternative spin on that adoration, how that can shift outside of the romantic kind of love. I think I do agree with that in some ways. So.
I really like that. I really like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm trying to think about if there was anything else I want to say regarding that. You're gonna get a good Andy typed, hell yeah, I'm gonna get a good grade in book club. Yes, don't worry, you get a good grade here, okay? I'm sitting up here. I'm sitting up in the gamer chair here. I think I got a message from Arya. Let's see. Because I think some of these are things that they want us to express here. Let me just make sure. Okay, so Arya sent me a message saying, apologize for not showing up. I got caught up in something. That's all perfectly fine, Arya. Perfectly fine. You're more than welcome to join us next week if you are available. No worries. I really did enjoy up to chapter 34. It makes their relationship kind of suspenseful because their romance is very unconventional. Giving Nanami more backstory on her trauma helped me personally understand her a lot more because originally I wasn't a fan of her as a character. Although her backstory in the play being a literal one-to-one on her insecurities was a little too on the nose, I think it was played out really well and made Koyomi seem like a character who can read people really well. I think that that's very true. She pretty much like wrote Nanami down to a T, even though she kept trying to ask you like, what's she like? And she's like, she's just like how she is, I guess. But she just dissected pretty much everything about Toko without realizing it. I just thought it was very funny. Arya also said, I very much like you as a character because she's overall a very sweet person. Her journey on understanding the concept of what she calls love was really relatable to me, and I hope the best for her. And that's all I can think of right now. I really like Maki as a character. That's all. And then that's what Arya has sent in for this week. So thank you so much for that, Arya. Hopefully next week you'll be able to join in. But if not, you know, it's whatever. But it's all right. Something happened or whatever. But we're all excited for you to possibly be here next week. So thank you so much for that, Arya. We're having divisive opinions about Maki in the text chat here. Here Andy is saying, yeah, Maki's so peak. Arya only has correct opinions, and then Turando is just like, nah, Maki's kind of creepy. Damn. I mean,
for Maki discourse. Let's go, everyone.
Maki discourse. I don't have a problem with Maki. I don't think there's anything wrong with Maki.
What's wrong with Maki?
Maki's kind of like a stalker. Like the power dynamics that he kind of wants to enforce.
Look, as long as Maki remembers to bring his own chair.
Oh my god.
What does power dynamics in this situation mean?
Hey, what does that mean?
He's like,
What?
I remember like really early on in like chapter 8, he's like, he doesn't just want to watch. He wants to get involved. And he kind of wants to have that sense of control. And that's kind of like that same stalker mentality that people have when they become stalkers. They want that sense of control. And I find that whole power dynamic kind of weird.
I didn't really pick up on that kind of angle on it.
His whole thing is that he doesn't want to get involved.
I was gonna say that's his whole concept.
He wants to be an outsider.
Yeah, so like
if they try to involve,
then
he moves away.
He wants to be involved in terms of pushing the two of them together.
Yeah, that is more so what
involved with them romantically.
Sure.
He wants to be able to watch it play out. He doesn't want to be involved with the romance himself, but he wants to watch it play out, which would involve like, you know, trying to help it happen in some ways too, yeah.
But you have like a bystander character who's kind of like not involved, right? Or doesn't have any stakes. And you have like an observer, like as you would in Heisenberg's system, where when you observe the relationship, you collapse the wave function. He's like, it kind of like the way he interacts with you kind of like pushes her in a certain direction. Just because knowing you're being observed already collapses that wave function, already kind of pushes that relationship. Like it kind of puts pressure on that relationship. So I guess I found him to be not enough of a bystander or an observer, and he kind of became more of a participant in that relationship, as minor as it was.
Well, I mean, that basic description could describe most of the characters because they are doing that in the sense of pushing the characters together because just by their association together.
Turando is just preparing us for for when he's gonna say that Dojima is his favorite character. Because he knows that based off of what we've said about him in the past, he needs to soften the blow.
I've always said Koyomi's my favorite character.
Maki's best.
Because he's like, she has a sense of direction. It's like, Koyomi, like, from the beginning has always known what she wanted. Like, she's participating in a competition. I feel like her being a writer is just, like, one of my favorite aspects of her character. But I just really didn't like Maki.
That's fair if you don't like it. I personally don't have a problem with him. I kind of wish he got to play some kind of more of a role for like whatever's going on with him, because very clearly I felt like with his introduction something very clearly happened in his past where we got to see the whole interaction where like somebody was like the symbolism where like he's in the audience and a girl's confessing to him from the stage and he leaves the theater. Something very clearly happened with him that I'm kind of interested to hear about as well, but we're not really focusing on his story here, I guess. But he very clearly had something going on there as well, which, you know, probably added on to the fact that he related to you in the volumes last week. There, it was more of a different thing. The connection there was established for him to say, you're not really the same as me anymore, or at least in his thoughts, he was thinking, you is not the same as me these days, because the expression she has on her face is not really one that's lonely like I am in a way. There's a lot more going on with Maki than I think we see, which makes him interesting to me. I don't really think there's anything wrong with him himself, but I can understand, I guess, where Turando's coming from in a way with that. I can understand it.
No, I can't.
Well, that's fair if you. That's fair as well. Arya in chat has been typing. He's just a girl's girl. It's true. He's just a girl's girl. Fight. Where's the Maki X Dojima spin-off, Andy? Oh my god.
That's what I'm saying. Aztec pulled up the receipts, guys. Come on.
Oh yeah, when they were in the karaoke together. Hold on, I'll put this on stream. Dojima, the panel of Dojima and Maki. We're also gonna talk about Dojima a bit in a second too.
We're finally talking about the boys in this Yuri series.
Dojima kind of stepped up this week.
Yeah.
I am honestly here for it.
Yep. Let's talk about.
He is no longer just the weird guy.
Yeah,
Yes.
like even I think some of it was in his role as like the friend in the play. Like that was kind of like really impactful for me as kind of an adaptation of his character. But like also what he did outside of the play of like expanding upon that, not just being a weirdo kind of character. I honestly loved him this week's reading. He
I did enjoy the very awkward moment of him like trying to leave Yu and Akari.
So
Oh
funny.
my god.
It was great.
It was so good.
Oh my god.
And then the little like post chapter thing where it's him at the vending machine going, "Oh my
Yeah.
god, what do I get?"
What do I get? Yeah. What do you get for a girl that's crying? Well, let's talk about that scene in detail. But before we get into that, I just want to express, Arya, if you are around now, you're more than welcome to join into Book Club late if you are around. But if you're still caught up on other things, no worries about that at all. I just want to let you know that people are more than welcome to jump into Book Club later if they are late. But that's up to you. So the Akari scene, we have you and Dojima were walking around doing something, and they see. Akari, I think they were going to the basketball club because they fucked up a form or something, and they see Akari crying, and they find out that Akari's crush, who we've known about since the beginning, and who had rejected her because he claims that he was like, just wanted to focus on basketball. He's been secretly dating another girl in the basketball club for like a year plus now. And she found out about this because that girl asked her to trade places with her so she could be with the crush during the culture festival, I guess. And that's how she found out about that situation, how they're trying to keep it quiet. So she was upset about that because she's been hanging out with him more under the impression of, well, he's busy with basketball now, but eventually he'll be done with it, or like even then, like maybe he might still be interested if we're hanging out or whatever. And now she's finding out that's definitely not the case because he's already dating somebody else, and I just never knew. So she's upset about that. Not only is she upset about that, She's also upset about, the fact that she was essentially lied to by him at the moment that she confessed. Now, the reason why he lied was obviously because, like, I'm dating somebody else and we're trying to keep it a secret. We don't want anybody else in the basketball club to know. You're in the basketball club, so I don't really want to, like, admit that to you, which is probably the reason why he didn't. And might also have been like some kind of like trying to like reject her gentler than like saying I'm already dating somebody else, I guess, in a way. I don't know. I think some people think like that or whatever. I mean, I personally don't think he should have had a problem just telling her I'm already seeing somebody else, but I can understand if they like have concerns about like keeping it a secret or whatever in a way, but still. As Dojima brings up, like
Borg will happily tell somebody to pound sand.
Like as Dojima like brings up, it's fucked up that he lied because it took a lot for her to like emit her feelings for her crush, and to be lied to immediately like that feels really, really fucked up in Dojima's view. And Dojima was like getting up like really ready, like, where the fuck is this guy? I'll show him. Like, he was ready to fucking go fight this dude or like tell him off or whatever. He was like not having that shit. And I think more so
he's about to enter a shonen anime.
The main thing I think that drove Dojima really mad was not just the fact that that guy lied, but that is very clearly making Turando apparently disconnected. It was very clearly making Akari think that she was more of an annoyance to her crush, or like that she was being a pain to him or something like that, by nature of actually confessing to the crush at the time and still hanging out with them, which Dojima does not at all like the fact that she views that and like because she really should not feel like that, but now she is thinking like that, and it's all because that guy lied originally and then she found out about that lie. So a lot to unpack in a short scene like that. With Dojima as a character who we've only really is Discord dying for people, or is that just Turndo disconnecting?
I think that's just Turndo.
I was about to say I got like kicked out and reconnected.
That's interesting. Okay, well, hopefully Discord's not fully dying. I did see the Discord ping go down a little bit at times, but overall it seems fine. Hopefully it doesn't fully die before we're done. But I guess we're getting to a point with this anyway. So, anyways, Dojima stepping up this week. How are we feeling? How's Dojima stocks this week compared to last week? Because last week he was pretty much just I don't know, random straight boy in the club. I don't know. How are we feeling about Dojima now? Is Discord dying now? No, it's not dying now.
No, you're
hard
good.
for his stocks to have gone down at all. So.
Yeah, I mean, seems like a decent guy.
Yeah, I mean,
the play did a lot for him, I think, and that scene with Akari.
Yeah, I agree. The
one girl in the audience randomly yelling out, "Wait, he's kind of hot."
Guy.
Oh yeah, it's a couple people in the audience. Who's that guy? Oh my god.
What was Turando? Were you saying something?
I just said he got a good guy card. He's just a good guy.
He's a pretty chill guy. He's a pretty chill guy for the most part here.
He's a pretty chill guy.
Yeah. Because last week it kind of felt weird because like I think he just immediately just started following Akari to clearly hit on her at some point last week during the sports festival. And we went from that to this moment, I guess, which is very different vibes. So I was like, oh, okay, good on you, Dojima, good on you. What was the other thing he did last week? He made a comment about saying like, is there going to be a kiss scene between Sayaka and Toko or something like that?
Between the girls.
Things like that, Ari in the chat typed, I try not to be too hard on Basketball Guy because his response to Akari was a very high school response. Yeah, I can understand that. High schoolers with that kind of stuff, it can be kind of similar to the beginning of the series. We had you who was kind of not even sure how to respond to the person who confessed and hadn't responded yet, and was reaching out to Toko to ask for advice for how to respond to the person that confessed to her. She already knew the answer was no. She just didn't know exactly how to word it, or had the courage to word it, I guess. And, so I can understand why he responded the way that he did in some ways, but, it's also justified why Dojima is as mad as he is about that stuff. It was a very nice scene to have happen. It was very nice. I mean, even though it's kind of, it's not very fun for Akari, but it's a thing that she has to go through. I mean, more importantly than all this, like, we still have to dissect the fact that she went to the school entirely to pursue this guy, and now she's finding out that he's been dating another girl for like a year plus already. Like, we have to have her change in some ways as well, I think, is what I'm getting at here. So it sucks for her to have to go through this,
but also she's done so much assuming and trying to get this one guy. Yeah. And it's just like, I mean, girl, no. Move on.
Yeah, there's other guys like Dojima, apparently. He's right there. I mean, at this point, I feel like that's probably gonna happen. I feel like that's probably gonna.
Yeah, probably.
He's available on discount.
He's on discount. Oh my god. Listen.
That's enough.
Listen, okay, stock's going up in the crowd after that play, all right? Several girls are going, oh my god, who's that guy? He's kind of hot.
That 20% is Maki, though.
Oh my god.
Betting on Koito's to make a comeback. See Koito, grandma, like, push up together or something.
What about Koito's grandma? Or something like that?
We'll see her come back in the later chapters, in, like, volume 7 and 8.
Oh, okay, alright, interesting. Okay, I'm checking my notes to see if there's any other important side character scenes that we want to discuss about. I don't believe so. Oh yeah, I think I did want to highlight that Maki and Koyomi do have some sort of understanding relationship with each other too. Like they were like texting each other during that chapter about the stuff afterwards. I don't know why I wrote this thing. I think I wrote it down
because teasing her.
Yeah, I think I wrote it because I was wondering like when we were gonna get more Maki developments, and so far that's been it for this week, I think. So, what else did we have? Oh yeah, I think we had also mentioned when that happened, when Dojima and you found Akari, and like she's like sniffling in the corner. They're just talking to each other like, should I? Dojima's trying to be like, can I leave? And she's like, I don't know how to do with this either. What am I supposed to do? I should leave because it's like girl stuff, right? And you're just like, I don't know what girl stuff even means. What do you mean? I don't know what we're supposed to do here. Like, it was a very funny scene. And then like we said before, we had the bonus comic where he's like buying something from the vending machine for her, and she's like, what do you buy for a girl that's crying in this situation? I don't know what to do here.
I think the only true. I think the only other thing that I had noted in my ramblings was the second scene that we get of you kind of being distant from her new friends and having them kind of turn their backs on her after the play. I sent a screenshot of it. It was the last photo that I sent, but it reminded me of the scene that we had talked about the distance between her and Akari and Koyomi at the beginning of the manga, when she was sitting in her desk, and they like, I'm pretty sure if you put the two panels that I'm thinking about side by side, like it's the exact same composition, just mirrored. As you is like going through that feeling of isolation again, and that was something that I thought was kind of interesting in like a sad way. It was like, damn, where you spend so much time putting in all this effort, now you're feeling like abandoned again, and that really fucking sucks.
Yeah, fuck. Oh my god. Yeah. Okay, so did we talk about the? I don't remember if we talked about this because I know we had you talking seriously with Toko. Did we talk about the fact that Toko just suddenly ran up to her and said, "Let me kiss you," and you was just like, "No," and Toko just looked devastated?
We've not talked about that yet.
Okay, because this is when Toko had the conversation with Sayaka, where Sayaka finally tried to express like, "Hey, I'm worried about what you're doing. You should do the ending that we chose because you don't have to try to be your sister or whatever." And she storms out, and Sayaka probably really feels like, "Oh no, I really fucked things up by trying to express being worried or whatever." But it was really just Toko going out to immediately grab you, drag her to the roof, say, "Let me kiss you." I think her reasoning for it was, I don't know who I want to become right now, but I know kissing you makes me feel real, or like feels like it's the real me. So can I please do that?
Yeah, so
And
this is something
Yep.
that like they allude to previously in like last week's reading, where like Toko is saying that the one thing that she knows is her and not her sister is the fact that she loves you, because she never saw her sister or had any awareness that her sister had like a romantic relationship. And
Yep.
so she feels like this is something that's concretely her. And so that scene is coming right off of her confrontation with Sayaka, right? And after that, Toko is feeling really disconnected and really depersonalized, and like she sort of barely exists.
Yeah.
And so that's why that's her first impulse, at least in my reading, to go
Yeah.
seek out you so that she can feel real again.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I remember.
Yeah, and this is why.
Oh yeah, go on.
And this is why in next week's reading, I'm really excited to see that to see it come to fruition that Yu's older sister is actually dating Nanami's older sister.
Oh my god, can you imagine?
Who is trans?
He's also trans.
Layers. There's layers to this.
I can't believe they were both trans the whole time.
Oh my god. Was there somebody else who was trying to say something there? I don't know if somebody else was. Was it turned out or something?
Now, I was gonna mention there was this really great scene at the aquarium.
Yes.
Where Nanami goes to Koiko, says, "I love you," right? And they discuss like why she says it, or like why it's so important for her to say it out loud, right? Because Koiko doesn't understand why Nanami doesn't tire or get embarrassed saying it out loud. And that's like more an affirmation to Nanami that like their love is real, or at least that she can feel Toiko's love for her when she says it out loud. It's a very interesting scene.
Yeah. I think I wrote down that whole scene, or at least parts of the quotes of it, because I thought that was very important, and I didn't want to talk about it. About that conversation where she's saying "I love you," and saying "I love you" makes me feel better. I guess it reminds me I can fall in love. It reminds me that I can fall in love at all because I never saw my sister do it, and even if the rest of me is fake, I do know I really love you. So I think she had also mentioned a line like, maybe it's okay to contradict yourself sometimes, which is because it was a whole contradicting thing where it's like, I want to say I love you to express to myself that I can do that and that these are my real feelings, but I don't want you to feel the same way to me or whatever, things like that. But then, she's also trying to pretend to be her own sister and stuff like that. Things like that. A lot of dynamics being unfolded just through the ability of whether or not to say that. It's a lot. And all of this right after they got themselves splashed at the dolphin show, which was also very cute. They were like, they go to sit in the front row, and they're like, "Oh, if you're sitting up here, you are going to get soaked." And they're like, "It can't be that bad, right? Oh, let's go get rain jackets just in case." And then they would have gotten very, very soaked from that whole show if they were sitting in the front row. It was a very cute little scene with them for that. And then it cut to like that emotional thing. I did note as well with that scene where it cuts to Toko saying, "I wish this would never end," and then you immediately see the exit sign, and I'm like, oh fuck.
Yeah.
And she's like, I don't want this to ever end. And Yu's just like, oh, I guess this is the exit. Like, she sees nothing wrong with that at all. And Toko's just like, fuck. Oh, man.
I'm sure it's all fine.
I didn't quite read it that way, actually. I read it more as you also sort of being a little reluctant or sad, honestly.
Okay, all right. That's understandable.
I mean, that scene is repeated again. They're sleeping on the train, right? Nanami sleeps on Toiko's shoulder, and then like she has to wake her up, and they have to change train.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
That's true. That's true. I forgot about that bit. Makes sense. Yeah. Let's talk a little bit about some of the details of the middle of the play, because there was some key details of when they were acting the play that were important to note, I think, because we knew the general layout of the play last week pretty much, about how there was going to be the lover, the childhood friend, and the family member that were going to be the main three people that she interacts with to try to get an idea of her past self. But we got a little more nuance about it this time, where the school friend, they always saw her character as responsible, hardworking, and all that. Like, she was always very dependable and very smart and always helping everybody else or whatever. The model ideal student who wasn't really stuck up about it, very helpful, very nice, everybody liked her. Was how this was the first person that interacted with her when she had no clue what her memories was, and it was somebody saying, you know, everybody loved you or whatever. You were great. You were always hardworking and all that. Then the family member comes in, and the family member's like, yeah, you were always like cold and distant between me and mom and dad. Part of it might have been because like we didn't have the same dad. My dad, or my mom, I forget what, I think they said they had different dads, so their mom remarried, and so
they have different dads, same mom.
They currently have the his dad and not her dad. And so they're like, you know, for whatever reason, you've made yourself distance from us. But, you know, maybe now with all this, we could become close again and all that. And she's like, oh, but that's very different from the school side of me that said everybody loved me. Why the fuck would I do that? Was that the more real side of me because I was cold and distant? You know, why would I do that unless that was a real side of me and things like that? And then the lover, who was Sayaka, by the way, the childhood friend was Dojima, the brother was Maki, and Sayaka was the lover. And Sayaka said, oh, when you're with me, you know, you feel like you can be your real self, so you're always so sweet, you're always like very emotional and all that. I forget, you know, very, very intimate or whatever, things of that nature.
Spoiled,
yes, sure. And she's like, well, that's very different from both those stories I heard, of course. And she's talking in between with like the nurse about this stuff. She's like, yeah, they're all different. I don't know what I'm supposed to do with that. I felt like it was very interesting that we chose those three dynamics specifically for her character, especially. Because, I mean, that's basically how she essentially is, right? In real life. So not only has Koyomi figured out Toko's character from like the perspective of somebody who doesn't know which version of herself to be, she's also identified pretty much all of the sides of her she pretends to be. Like, she has an awkward relationship with her parents because she's very clearly trying to be her sister, and so her parents can feel that and they don't really want that for her, so their relationship is awkward. Cold and distant, you know. Everybody at school does see her as the perfect model student. And then with the lover, here it's Sayaka, but in practice it would be you, and she does act spoiled and emotional in ways that she isn't normally when everybody else is around and all that with her. Their relationship is a little more complex than that, but, you know, same general idea with that. So we've dissected a lot. Koyomi has dissected a lot with her, despite not knowing anything about her. Wild coincidence with that. But
it is very funny that it happens entirely by accident.
yes, entirely. You know, maybe Koyomi's just that good. Koyomi's just that good. Koyomi should also be a detective, it sounds like. You know, she could solve all the cases.
Still couldn't figure out the author was a chick, though.
That's true. That one really surprised her. She stayed awake that night thinking about that. She's like, "Fuck, really?" They had an additional bit that I didn't realize we would be doing, where they're continuing her questioning of who she should be, and she does interesting things with this in the play. We have one bit of the play where she attempts to pretend to be those sides of her that each of them see. So she pretends to be very smart, diligent, hardworking, and like, you know, can't make a mistake to like the school friend. She pretends to be cold and distant to Maki, which is essentially just looking at the phone saying, yeah, whatever. And I think Maki was just like, you know, I should kind of feel bad that you're treating me coldly right now, but it kind of reminds me of the you from before, in a way it kind of does. It's like, okay, well, I don't know if you're trying to say it in a comforting way or whatever, but I don't know. I think there was an interesting thought with the cold and distant side when she was trying to question which version of her she should choose. And when she got to the one about being cold and distant, and she thought to herself the argument of, you know, why else would I be cold and distant to them unless that is who I actually am? And I think her response was, maybe I am cold and distant to them for the sake of them to have a happy relationship with each other without me, or something of that nature. Which I thought was a very interesting, good point to make towards that.
You see, every family needs a scapegoat.
Okay, well, not every family needs a scapegoat. I don't know about that. But
Every family.
Well,
every family. All right.
Every family with drama.
Didn't you read Umineko?
That's true. I did read Umineko. Okay, listen. I thought that was it.
Umineko scapegoat have enough money.
Oh, okay, true. That was an interesting perspective. I think the answer was like she acted that way essentially for all of them, for the sake of them, and not for herself, is what she essentially thought. I think that was the connection between all of them, because like the being responsible at school, she probably did that to you know, meet the expectations of everybody at school, to be liked by everybody at school, you know, doing all that for the sake of them and like to help them all out with that. With, you know, the lover, maybe she was only you know, trying to act very emotional and intimate like that because she knew that that's what Sayaka's character liked about her and would stay with her if she was acting like that and all that. So in all these answers, it felt like she was doing these things potentially for the sake of that person themselves and not for herself. And so, you know, that's a big question for her of like, you know, was that why I was doing all that? And that kind of thought, along with the discussion with the nurse, helped her realize the answers that she wanted to go to. And the discussion with the nurse was similar to the speech you pretty much already gave her, which is just, I don't know any of those past selves of you that everybody else seems to know. I don't know any of those sides of you. I only know the version of you that I currently know. I don't know anything about any of those other things. You are your own person right now. Even the you that's like questioning which version of yourself you want to become, you are currently a new person, essentially. You are allowed to have your own new interests, your own new ideas. You don't have to become somebody else. You can just continue life as you are and learning as you go, like everybody else does. You're allowed to do this. And so I like the fact that we took that idea and we didn't just go with that. We also extended it to essentially rebuilding our connections with literally everybody. We didn't pick any one side. We basically said, I am a new person now. I don't know if I can ever become the person you thought I was, but we can start brand new. We can build a new relationship, and we can go from there and see how it goes. And they were all pretty much cool with it, right? I think the lover was a little more concerned about it, but
relevant panel.
Say that again.
So this feels like a particularly relevant panel.
Let me see. Oh, I see. Let me show this on stream. And it says, "It never occurred to me that the person I am now could be important to someone too." Yes, this was a very, very impactful line, I think. Like, she keeps thinking to herself, I have to be somebody else. Like, you know, in real life, she thinks to herself, I have to be my sister. You know, she's not considering that some people don't want her to be her sister. They just want her to be herself, or at least like the person who wants to work hard to be your sister. Like, she does, you know, layers like that. Like, yeah, there's so much to unpack with. I think I just really love the concept of the play in general for all of this. Like,
it's so good. I mean, it just works really well.
Yeah, like
I mean, it's what art is for, also.
Exactly, yeah. Absolutely. Like, I knew as soon as I heard the concept of the play, I was like, this is immediately interesting. When I knew about it in context to it working through the emotions of the actors involved, I was like, this might be peak. This might be, like, the best fucking thing ever, I think. Like, it's so powerful with how we handle a lot of these things in a very deep way. Like, just the core concept of the play in general. A person with amnesia talks with 3 different people, and they all describe very different versions of them, and they don't know which version to become. Like, that concept already is immediately hooking for me. That's, like, huge, because, you know, it's a very relatable thing.
I would just watch that play by itself with no context, right?
Exactly, yeah, exactly. Yeah. Because it's very relatable,
for
I
real,
think.
Though.
You know, many people do, in fact, do that, where they show a different side, have different, like, ways they interact with different kinds of people. You know, the way you act with your family might not be the same as how you acted with kids you went to school with, and might not be the same as how you act with people you go to work with. You might express some interests that you have with one group of friends that you wouldn't express with a different group of friends, and things like that. You know, different people will have these different memories of you, which is especially important for Toko to realize, as she had already sort of realized last week when she found out that her sister was not how she was when she was at school. You know, there's oh my god, it's so much, and it's so good. And I think that, I mean, I think all this is pretty much why I changed my name on here to Nanami Borg. You know, a lot of everything that was going on with Toko's backstory and how she developed to work herself through it through this play, it's huge for me. It's amazing. I think it's neat. I don't know. Viewers in chat, I think a while ago, I typed, "Not much to add this week, still recovering from my trip, but this hurts just right." I feel you, Fuse. Andy had also typed, "So real." Aztec had written, "I believe the term is code switching."
So
is that what that means? I don't actually know.
Code switching is a very specific thing.
It's a little bit more specific, but it is a similar idea. Code switching has
it's a
to
similar
do with,
concept. I would say, yeah.
Yeah,
It's more like social identity and like identities and race, gender, sexuality. Like that tends to be more code switching. I think the original term code switching is actually from scholarship on blackness. So there's a particular meaning to that, but it's a similar concept.
Okay. I understand. Yeah. There's so much of that, and like the play itself I thought was like huge, and then when we immediately ended that, because you end the play and you're just like, okay, we're done with that, now we're just gonna move on to other stuff, we're done with acting, and then the acting director comes up to her and says, "Hey, have you ever considered becoming an actor, because you were really fucking good at it there?" And then we get the line where she's like, "No, I never really thought about acting before," and then she realizes, wait, I've been kind of doing this my whole fucking life, every single day. I guess maybe it could be interesting. Which again, I think I mentioned this earlier, is huge, because it's immediately, we ended the play and she's already getting an opportunity to become a new person. Like, this is already an interest that she does not, probably was not at all a thing that her sister was even considering. before. She was probably just planning to do the play because it was just the tradition of the club at the time. But now Toko gets the chance, because she had always wondered, what's going to happen once the play is done? What am I going to do afterwards? Like, what do I do then? Because this is pretty much my goal here. My sister never got to do this play. Now I'm going to do it. What do I do afterwards? Well, now that she's accepted this answer of I don't, I could just be the kind of person that I want to be, and then everybody around me will still be there for me. I don't have to be worried about that. Maybe acting could be a path for me. And so she does start attending those meetings. We don't get to see them, but we're told that she does go to attend them. So I thought that was very, very cute, very nice. I loved that immediately happening. It's good. It was reminding me as well of some other acting manga I had read before. I think it also partially reminded me of Oshinoko, but not really. With that kind of thing. I don't think it was Act Age. I think I was thinking of a different manga. Maybe it was Act Age. Act Age had a very unfortunate situation with it being canceled, but we're not going to get into that here. I think it might have been Oshinoko, or maybe it was Beaten Motion. It might have been Beaten Motion. Anyways, I all this to say, the play arc, I really enjoyed it. I think it took us a lot to go through all this stuff, but it was critical towards Toko's development, and I very much enjoyed it. How did other people feel about the play stuff in general? Was anybody bored by it? Was everybody like really enjoyed it? Did some people enjoy some aspects and not others? Like how are we feeling overall about everything about the play that happened?
I was actually surprised it happened so soon. I thought
it'd be like the finale.
They were going to do like a finale, but like really set up a situation where, it may not happen. Something else came up, or just obstacles kind of cropping up until the end. Because, like, I've been in a few theater performances, and usually lots of random shit happens before, and everyone, it's like a whirlwind. It's like, oh my god, a microphone is missing. What do you mean a microphone is missing? Oh, something got locked and we can't practice today. Oh no, like everything's like a big deal. And I kind of wish they kind of play that up a little bit, because kids kind of make a big deal about little things too. And
well, yeah, but
I feel like a lot of
details, I wish that was in there. Personally.
I feel like a lot of that probably happened like just off screen, because we did get that bit of Sayaka, like someone coming to.
We need it to happen on the screen. I need it to happen.
That's a band.
So I'm like, what are these calm, collected kids? Like, who are these people?
She needs the tears of theater kids.
True.
That's the thing. These aren't theater kids.
They're not. They're student council members.
They are now.
now one of them is.
Toko specifically now is. But everyone else.
By the way, she reached out to Toko. Anybody mention that this was like an originally written play by somebody who helped them out? I feel like the theater trope person probably would have wanted to talk to her as well, because that's kind of a huge fucking thing. Be like, wait a minute, who wrote this? They kind of cooked fire with this.
And also, she only talks to her, doesn't talk to anyone else.
Yeah, only talk.
Rest of you, mid.
The rest of you, you know how you did.
Maybe next time, okay? Maybe next year.
Yeah.
Anybody else?
Good.
Yeah, it was good. It was good.
Yeah. I mean, plays are kind of boring.
Plays are kind of boring.
But
damn.
like, it was the third time I'd read that story in this story, so.
Yeah. Oh my god, all the Umi stage fans crying right now.
I want to say it. I didn't want to be the bad guy of the week. That play was boring. I'm sorry.
Damn.
You can be wrong. It's okay.
I probably would have been bored watching it, to be honest.
Damn. Are you bored watching plays in general, though? Are you bored watching plays in general, or?
Probably.
Yeah.
No,
Okay.
I love theater. I love plays. I read like a lot of like scripts and stuff too. I just think they had so much because it started from the beginning. It was like this play, and you know, it was responsible for 20 lives being lost. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
And I'm like,
the fuck happened?
But at the end of it, Beatrice appeared.
Play. This is dramatic. And I wanted this play to be like, oh my god, I wanted to be sobbing. I want to be beside myself. Like they really come out. Like,
were you not?
Because that's the thing about a play, right? Like your true passionate self takes over, and that's what you put on stage because that's the most entertaining for the audience. Like that's how you emote and show something for people to feel. It's a very emotional feeling kind of thing. I'm trying to imagine it in my head.
Yeah, it'd be different in person.
Yeah, I was gonna ask, like, have you experienced other mangas where they were trying to perform plays, and did you feel differently about them?
I think
I can't really think of a manga that had a play like as the main story. I can only think of like Western theater plays and shows, honestly. But I guess a good example is sort of the plays that everybody knows, like for example, like a Shakespeare play.
Right.
And then when you see different renditions of that play, because the story is stagnant, like, oh, I already know that happens. Like everything's spoiled because you know what happened in the story. You know every beat. But then you see the right cast and the right like direction. You see the right kind of look, like the costuming and the design for the stage. And you're like, oh my god, this story is so fucking good. Like you didn't, like I just feel like
adds new depth to it.
It needed like a little bit more. And Japan has an excellent theater culture. Like they are up there with the rest of the world. So I was just a little surprised because they've done some crazy stuff on the stage. I'm a big fan of a lot of their actors, like their stage actors. So I was like, what happened? What happened? But that's my only gripe. It's because they just sold it to me at the beginning. I was like, yes, I'm going to get this epic play and it's going to be crazy. And everyone's going to be in tears at the end. Like there wasn't even like that audience reaction. Like, that silence. And then everyone is like, oh my God, like what was this? This was, I don't know what to feel. Like my feelings are all over the place. Like, I don't know. I wish I felt like that, like at the end of the play part.
I would like to posit that at the very least it was that way to the people that it mattered to. Like Toko had that reaction to it. I think that her parents had that little bit of a reaction to it. And to everybody else, it was kind of like, yeah. And like,
I mean, Toko cried. And like,
Toko cried.
Like,
yeah,
Toko cried.
Yeah.
Damn, bitch.
Which is like, yeah, me too. But
so like, yeah, I think that her parents, but to everybody else, nobody, because it's like nobody else really understood that it really was Toko like really laying herself like bare for people to see, right? To a lot of people there, it was just, oh, this is what the student council is doing because this is what is part of the cultural festival. And like some of them might have known, oh, her sister did it like 7 years ago or was going to do it and couldn't, and so this is her finally living through that. I think that a lot of what the play was doing was intended to have an internal effect on the characters that we're focusing on, and that's really what it was intended for, rather than that external emotive effect that you're looking for. But that's just
Yeah, I mean, if you think about it, if you think about this play as like trying to serve the purpose of being an interesting play and narrative, then it's gonna do an okay job of it. But if you think about it in the context of driving forward the characters, as well as also sort of being an interesting narrative, kind of also, then you're gonna see how it really shines, right?
I will say,
should have done both at the same time.
I will say, as I was reading it, I was thinking to myself, like, there's a lot going on that I enjoy for how this is told, but in practice, like, everybody is just watching, a girl just sitting in a hospital bed talking to, like, a couple people, which...
I thought about that a couple times.
What I'm trying to say is it made me think of, like, this in practice might have been, or in reality, might have been, like, a one-shot idea that Nakatani Nio had in the past and then never did because she thought it wouldn't actually be as interesting as its own standalone story.
Oh, maybe.
That's something I was considering, and that through the connection that Toko's character has here, she was able to, like, tweak it a bit to work more with her directly, and then got to actually do that here. That's what I was kind of wondering might have been happening as well with this.
Similar note.
Yep.
There was she has a one-shot manga called Farewell to My Altar, which has a lot of parallels to Toko specifically, which I just think is really interesting.
That is very... I do plan to at some point check that out if I can. I remember reading about that. I think that was the one that she won the award for that got her this publication, or this serialization in the magazine after she won that award. So I was interested in checking that out, but I haven't gotten the chance to yet.
That's good.
Yeah, I'll have to check it out. But yeah, so I guess the plays...
one Hiri manga that was about acting. It was boring, so I dropped it after one volume.
Damn. Act Age was really good up until that got canceled, and then we found out all the context about that author, and now I don't like it as much anymore. But similar to that, Oshinoko has a massive play arc, especially I think it's in the second season of the anime, that looked like it was going to go really hard. I didn't get to fully watch it yet, but it looked from the initial episodes I saw that it was going to go really, really hard with that. So at some point I want to go finish that. I mean, that one also deals with, like, acting and stuff like that in general in some cases too. There was also what was it called? It was like a manga about Rakugo, which was doing really well, and I think has an anime adaptation announced now. I'll find it eventually, but right now I can't think of it.
Is it just Joshiraku?
No. Akane Banashi. That's the one I'm thinking of.
That's somewhere in my brain.
Yeah. That one was really trying to get into, like, how to act out these performances in a very like shonen kind of drama fashion with that one, I believe. Trying to focus on learning how to act these things out for an audience and make it impactful, and how to get them to feel certain ways during these Rakugo performances, which is also very interesting. So I would probably recommend checking out that when it comes out. I don't know if there was any other ones that involved play. Oh wait, Kakeki Shoujo, that was involving theater troupe school kids. There's also Review Starlight, which has that as a theme, but that is not the focus of the story. The focus on that is very different. It involves fights, but it's very good. But it does have that as kind of like a theme of things happening. But Kageki Shoujo was good though, and I think there was a different acting one around the similar time as Kageki Shoujo that was, I don't remember it though. But yeah, so those are things. They exist. You can check those out if this play arc interested you in manga or anime portrayals of that kind of stuff. That's there if you're interested. But in some cases, you got to understand that some of the stuff probably wouldn't be as interesting to see in person, perhaps, and they only really feel as impactful to us because we're viewing it through the manga lens. You get to do more with the visuals of these scenes because, you know, you're working with like the different angles that you can show that are harder to convey when you're just a person in the audience looking at a stage and things like that. So it does change how the medium acts out. And then we also, in many of these cases, we're getting the backstory of the actors themselves and how it directly connects with them in the process too. So a lot of this is important to factor in when it comes to this stuff. But
you know, I did want to.
Yep.
Your comment just now made me think of this. I did want to loop back. You had mentioned earlier, like some of the stuff that happened during the play, that I wanted to kind of just jump back to, because like there were
Sure.
a couple panels I remember seeing too, specifically where, like, for example, like one of the scenes where Sayaka playing the lover was like, oh yeah, you get to, you know, you're only like you get to show your true self only to me, right? Like some
Yep.
of those types of panels, like some of the sparkle in Sayaka's eyes, I'm like, oh my gosh, she got crushed, which we knew, of course. Like she explicitly said that, but just there were a couple panels that were like that. There was Sayaka, there was a couple panels with Toko to that effect. There was a couple panels of you to that effect, and I just really enjoyed that.
Oh my god,
some of
when
those
Toko
more
started
expressive
holding
emotions.
when Toko started holding Sayaka's hand on stage and
Yes.
the camera zoomed in on Sayaka, and I'm like, oh.
That's not, oh yeah. That wasn't the one I was thinking of. I was thinking when you started that sentence, where my brain immediately went was the panel where Toko is freaking out and grabs Toko's character is freaking out and grabs the separator drape, like the
yes.
curtain,
Yep.
and like pulls it over her face.
That one was very powerful because
that was a really good panel. Yeah.
That one is another scene where it's like it's enhanced more by the fact that we're reading it as a manga, though, because we got to see her pull the curtain, and then we got to see it zoom in on her eyes on the curtain at that moment to make it more intense. But the people in the audience wouldn't really feel it like that as much, but it did make it really intense being able to view it through this medium. Yeah. I liked as well, what was the little bit that they did? There was at some point she was like, I have my cell phone. Perhaps unlocking my cell phone would give me more hints about myself. But it's password locked by like a 4-digit code. So she keeps trying to guess like a date that might be important towards this. And, 1 second. Turndo, I think your mic is doing some weird... Oh, I think it's done now. I think we're good. Yeah, so... You're trying to figure out a date that might work for it, and each of them has a different date. I think like the lover, they met her on like New Year's Eve, not New Year's, Christmas Eve. The school kids like, what about the day of the sports festival? And then the brother, I think he might have said like his birthday. Turned out I think your mic is still doing something weird right now.
Yeah, Turned out you're hot micing.
Let me try to fix this. Okay, give me 1 sec.
Okay. Yeah, no problem. All right. And she tries all these dates on the phone, none of them work. She finds out the way to unlock it was adding all those dates together, I guess. And then the phone unlocks, which I feel like is a wild fucking password to use, but whatever. We'll ignore that, I guess. I understand thematically for the story, but I don't know if that's how that would work in person, but I don't really know. I don't know how everybody else does their passwords, I guess, but I was just thinking to myself, like, that's a wild way to do that, but okay, fine, whatever.
Yeah, why don't we all go in a circle and share how we got our phone passwords?
Oh, yeah, sure. So mine starts with this one and with this one.
Add up the birth dates of all of my current family members alive, and then every time it changes...
Oh yeah, I update my password every year.
It is one of those things where it's like no, absolutely no, but thematically yes.
Yeah, we understand it from that, but yeah, this is not really how that would work. But still, she unlocks the phone with that, and the one thing I do want to note was for the play they showed the text that are on it or what's on the screen by having a projector projected to the to the wall? Because I was wondering, like, this is a play. How the hell are we going to show what's on the phone? And they just project it onto the wall. Is this a thing that plays do? If plays involve cell phones at all? Are there many plays that involve cell phones?
This is a thing that high school plays do, yes.
Oh, high school.
Seems like
I
a
mean,
pretty
all right.
reasonable
Well,
way
that
to do
makes
it.
sense. I guess it is. I just kind of like I'm used to Netflix having really awkward UI ways to show off what's going on a phone, most of which are always
What,
like
did
a
you want just like a
custom-built thing.
hologram to pop out of the phone?
No, I was just surprised that we were trying to pull up cell phone shit in general for a stage play. I didn't know what the deal was
Usually
with that.
it's some kind of work with the backdrop, so it pretty much projector stuff, but like integrated more into the backdrop section.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, there are like those kind of, those like throw projectors where you can have them at very close distances.
Yeah.
Have you do you know what I'm talking about?
I think so. Yeah.
There are backdrops that sort of utilize that sort of similar kind of tech to actually display stuff on the screen, a la a projector, without having to have something far out in front of it, which would be then on the stage and blocking other stuff and ugly.
I see.
There's a couple
Okay.
different ways you can do it. You can also you could also have screens
Right.
if you needed to. You could have like a large monitor, off to the side of the stage or something like that.
I think we need to give all of the audience a copy of the cell phone so they can look at through the cell phone themselves. I think that's what we have to do. Okay, so yeah, that's bits that are happening with the play. There's a lot of nuance that can happen with the play stuff, especially with the fact that it's a manga, the manga media showing us off a play. There's a lot of differences with that, but overall, I still thematically really, really enjoyed the play, both in concept and in execution. I don't know how interesting the play would seem in person, but the story at least seems very interesting to the fact that I would, maybe watch it as a movie or something. But I liked it. I thought it was neat. Yeah. And the aftermath of it was just the theater trope wanting Toko to ask Toko if she's interested in joining, and then you realizing I should try to confess to Toko, and then she does, and then the cliffhanger, which we already discussed all that. So
And it all worked out perfectly.
yeah, nobody was sad at all this week. Yeah.
I think so. Now we can get into next week's predictions for the finale.
Yeah, of course.
I think that they're both going to end up dead.
Okay.
And we're going
Please.
to have a locked
Please.
room murder mystery. There's
Maki
only going to
did
be
it.
one
Saiga
gun.
did it. Saiga did it. Maki
There's going to
helped.
be one gun and only one bullet cartridge in the room, locked inside with them.
Okay.
Catch the knee and kill.
It was Saika and Maki, okay? The room wasn't locked the whole time, all right? It was a whole thing. Listen.
With a lead pipe in the parlor.
Maki was the witness. He's not going to say anything about it.
He's being paid money.
Yeah, I think things will work out between them. Because it seemed like for the longest that Nanami was the like most obstinate of the two. That Yu was just kind of walking a tightrope to keep her happy. And I think that now that Nanami realizes that she was walking that tightrope, that they will actually be able to work things out. So I think it will be fine. Unless
Unless.
a gun gets involved.
And it is in Saika's hands.
Unless Toko walks in front of a train.
Oh my God.
One of them's gonna
Listen.
fly to a train, the other one's gonna pull a bridge to Terabithia.
Listen,
It'll all work out.
this manga started with a near-death looking scene with the train and them
Really
kissing
did.
in front of the train
Really
tracks,
did.
okay? And then she's looking at the train tracks like, what am I going to do once this is done? Like, I don't know.
Foreshadowing is a literary
every
device.
single time that I get one of those scenes, I think back to what Chap had said. It might have been Chap or it might have been somebody else, where it was like, this author wants so bad to draw horror manga.
Oh, yeah. Like the occasional panel where it's just psychological horror.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like absolutely every single one of those panels makes me go,
yeah.
Toko's just like, I don't think we should do this ending. What do you think, Sayaka? With the menacing look on her face, and Sayaka's like, I think we should do this ending. And you see the menacing look still. Really? Are you gonna fucking...
It should have been a repeat of that expression that you had towards the beginning. That, like, really creepy, like, are you serious? Are you serious now, Nanami?
So Ari, I agree that now that Toko is
Close to a mystery?
You know,
Yeah.
now that Toko is not being quite as obstinate, that we do have, you know, a potential enough likely, you know, positive resolution. I will say though, I actually do have a critique. You have caused me to realize a critique of this volume 6, which is that I don't think we should have gotten Toko's perspective at the end there yet.
Yeah.
I think we should have gotten it next week. Because I think if we had because
that's
like
true.
Truly, like if we had ended on Toko's just I'm sorry and then Yu runs away and we get Toko saying wait, that is like that is a lot more, I don't know, it feels like a better end to a chapter than this, which feels like we got something very profound and then didn't really explore it at all because the chapter ended, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm sure we'll come back to it, but it just feels like a big character realization for her to have in the last like 5 or 10 pages of a chapter, you know?
Yeah, I will comment on that by saying
of
like
a volume, right?
It like happened very fast. It was in the same chapter. It wasn't like a separate chapter, and it was at the end of the volume. And I remember thinking to myself like this is good. I like seeing the internal thought. I don't know if I like it immediately after this, because now in my head all I'm thinking is, oh, they're both gonna work through this very very much.
It just cuts the tension, because you're like, oh, okay, well they'll figure it out because they both, you know, they both want to. We know that now, which we didn't, you know, until we got that from Toko.
Yeah. Like things will be awkward with them for a bit maybe until they talk, and then once they do talk, they'll work through it probably. Like that's the way that seeing that second bit makes me feel. Although, you know, it kind of gets me like interested in thinking though, because like you know, Yu's worried about this stuff. Nanami's still working through things with like her own end of things in some ways still. So, you know, now she's feeling like shit for how the position she's put you in, and now Yu's immediately feeling bad for trying to express herself and all that. So in some ways, you know, it's interesting to see that dynamic immediately like that, but in other ways, you know, like you said, like I'm not too concerned that they're not going to work this out. But yeah, I don't know. It's not the worst thing seeing it immediately, I don't think, but it definitely would have enhanced it more.
It's not bad, but I just think it could have been a better resolution to the chapter without it, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It reminded me. This thought reminds me of.
I actually would say I think I would rather have it than not.
Really? Okay.
Because otherwise, I think trying to flash back to this moment would just feel like too awkward.
I don't think I needed it to be a full-on flashback. I think what I really wanted was the chapter to end immediately when Yu tries to confess and then runs away, and we don't see Toko's perspective, and then the very beginning of the next volume is just that. Literally nothing changes, but we just cut it there and then move that over to the volume next week. But perhaps, because we gotta think about this, these chapters I think came out on like a monthly release, so they would have had to wait a month to hear what was happening next, and they might not have necessarily known that this was going to be the end of that volume. Maybe I don't know how that works when it comes to the Tankobon assembly, like how many chapters do they each. But I want to assume by that point they probably had a rough idea for it, so I don't know.
I might have even just ended it with that scene that everybody was talking about with you covering her face and saying "I love you," because I think that that's really impactful for like how shameful you shy and shameful you probably felt. So you didn't even see Nanami's reaction. You don't even know Yu's gonna run away. You just end with the fact that this is how Yu is feeling, and you're done. And you just have to like hope that it's gonna work out.
Brutal, Andy. That's mean.
Can you imagine if they do that and then the series also gets canceled and you never get an answer?
Like Andy, I agree with you, and that's mean.
All right, see you next week. Or not next week, next month. See you in a month when you get to stew on that for a month.
Yeah.
We have an announcement that the next chapter will be delayed. The author is on a hiatus, and
they got a PS5, and they've begun.
Monster Hunter World has now released
right here.
Death Stranding 2, and Nakatani Nio is a big fan. All right.
Yeah, she seems like a real Kojima fan.
What?
I can't remember which author it is that their hiatuses can be like directly linked to the releases of a certain video game series.
I believe that is
Hunter x
Hunter. I believe it's Hunter x Hunter, and it's every time a Dragon Quest game comes out. I think that's what it was. For a while, and then it more so turned out to be like back issues or whatever. But I think for a while it was just whenever there was a Dragon Quest game or whatever. I mean, nowadays he just keeps posting the page number corners onto Twitter and getting 1 million fucking likes because everybody wants to cheer him on every time he keeps making progress on it, which good for all of the internet for supporting him to keep working on it. But yeah, I think it was him. There was him, and then the Land of the Lustrous author famously, I think the stopped, went on hiatus at a chapter that says we will see what happens in like 100 something years or million years or whatever. And then they went on hiatus because the PS5 came out and the author got obsessed with I think there was other reasons why too, but that was like a more direct thing and everybody kept memeing about it.
Real for this.
No, yeah, that's so good.
Okay, anybody else have predictions for next week?
Somebody's going to die.
Either predictions and or
one person.
I think we'll go through the line for people who have not spoken about their theories yet. It could be a theory or it could be what you want to have happen, and things of that nature. And we'll start in order. So Andy, what do you predict and or what do you want to happen? What would you like to see at the end of our journey?
I want Sayaka and Nanami and you to form a Yuri polycule and live happily ever after, owning a legal and extremely humane aquarium together. What is going to happen is one of them is going to die.
Oh,
and a bookstore, yeah.
And a bookstore.
Bookstore, aquarium, coffee shop.
Cafe, yeah, coffee shop. They just own all the businesses in town, yeah.
But in reality, one of them is going to die.
Andy, polycule, are they all three dating, or is Toko dating both of them?
Let me pull up my Homestuck quadrants real quick.
Oh my god! Whoa, now we're not bringing Homestuck into this. Yes, Andromeda.
Where does Maki fit into this?
What do you think, or what do you want to happen?
So I think Yu's gonna get the beta for a video game.
Yep, true.
And she's gonna start playing it.
Okay.
And then meteors are gonna come down and just destroy like everything.
Oh my god. I think I've seen this before. I think I've read this before even. I warned you about stairs, bro.
No, this is completely original. This is just
of
what
course.
happens in
this is
manga.
your play? This is your play? Oh, okay.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
You're not getting a serious thing out of me.
You don't have anything that you
Alright,
want to
my
happen?
turn.
Okay, cool. Ari, what do you want?
I've already fucking read it, man.
What would you? Okay, fine, fair enough. You get out of this. Ari, what do you want?
Locked, closed room. Okay? Okay, we're gonna get a closed room mystery. It's locked on
Okay.
the outside.
Sure.
Okay? It's I've already done this bit.
Yes.
Yeah. Girls. Aztec, what do you think?
Girls.
All right, good answer. All right, sweet.
What was the question?
What do you want? What do you? The question is, what do you want to happen for the ending, and or what do you think would happen, or what do you think is going to happen? But mostly, what do you want to happen? What are you looking for? If you know anything you're looking for.
What am I looking for out of this? I have no fucking idea, man. I'm just here for
That's
the
fair.
ride.
Hey, that's fair too. That's fair too. Fair enough. What about you, Iron? What do you want to happen? I forget. Have you read this all before?
I have, but it's been a very long time, so you
Okay.
can pretty much assume that I haven't, to be honest.
Okay. All right.
I honestly, I want the two of them to go on a date and have it just be like a genuine, real, cutesy, full of fluff date with no anything at all. Just like go be cute and romantic. Because we sort of got that with the aquarium, but there was also like a bunch of stuff happening in the background, and they were kind of figuring their own stuff out, and they were like, meh. I want them, after their whole thing resolves, I want them to go out on a date, and I want it to be very cute, and I want to die from diabetes because there's too much sugar. Too much sweetness.
It'd be cute. It'd be cute. Wait, what kind of date would you want them to go on? Like where to?
Honestly, I'm not picky.
I want them to go to Disneyland. Or World, whatever's over in Japan. They have one in Japan, right?
Tokyo Sea! Yeah!
I want them to go there. That's what I want. Yeah, no, for I'm sorry. First of all, is that all, Iron? Anything else, Iron?
Yeah, I think that's all I got.
Okay, fair enough. On my end of things, I mean, at this point, with how this ended, like I said, I'm pretty sure they're gonna work through their stuff eventually and be together. I just don't know. I'm more so concerned about the details of what's gonna happen with people like Sayaka in these kind of cases, where Sayaka has very clearly been working more and more towards trying to confess to Toko and open up to Toko, even though at this point she's probably, I think there was even a scene this week where she's like, I wouldn't interfere with what's going on with you and Toko or whatever in some way. But part of me is wondering if she's already just accepted to herself.
Just that, like,
yeah, go on.
Yeah, I think that was more just like she won't try to stop. She wanted to be like Sayaka wanted to be the one to give Toko the push to be herself, and she's like mad that it was you, but she's not that jealous that she's gonna stop it from working, if that makes sense.
I see.
So I don't think it was romantic. I think it was just more like about.
I'd sent a screenshot of that panel because she was like, no, like I wouldn't stoop that low, and I was like, but you could. Like that's always in the cards, girl.
You could.
You always could.
I'm just saying, if a gun were put in front of Sayaka, you know, there's options.
If there was a train and a ledge, like.
Oh my god.
If a golden butterfly came up to her shoulder.
Oh my god. Listen.
Oh my
Listen,
god,
it's going to be very interesting when Shino's here next week, the Sayaka fan club, okay? We get to hear all the Sayaka opinions from Shino, where I've been from the beginning assuming that she's probably going to fucking kill you, so I don't know. No,
I did notice we didn't talk too much about Sayaka this week, so I'm excited to have a deeper conversation about her because her character is really, really interesting, and we get a lot from her this week as well. So I'm excited to talk more next week about it.
Right, absolutely, yeah. And I think personally on my end, I am interested, of course, with what's going on with Toko and you. But I think at this point, I'm just kind of assuming that everything, especially with what happened towards the end of here, things are going to be awkward for a bit between them, but then they will eventually reconnect and realize like they do care about each other and they will live on together. I think, but I think more so it's going to be more complicated what's happening with the side characters, what's going on with Akari, what's going on with Koyomi. One of the big things I would like is, again, I would like to see what the fuck happened with Maki. I would like to see that. We got 2 volumes left. I don't know how much of that is going to be. I think the thing with me with the Yu and Toko is once they work through the interaction that currently happened, the awkward situation that just currently happened, that feels like when they do work through that, they're just all set in a way. Like there's still more that they're going to work through in the future, of course, but like for the most part, they'll have resolved, I think, the biggest issue with their relationship in a way. And I don't know how long that will take. So in my mind, we're going to get a bunch of things involving some of the side characters more. And I, again, would very much like to see Maki. I want to see some Maki interactions with this, get some development towards what the fuck happened with Maki. Because it, again, felt hyper specific with the play symbolism we saw with him. So I would like to see what the fuck was going on with that and how that's going to be helping Yu and Toko develop their relationship more with whatever understanding one of them has with a conversation with him, probably. That all said, I think I do also want to see a really, really cute date between Yu and Toko. I don't know where I would want them to go though. I joked about like Disneyland or whatever, which would probably be cute, but I don't know. Where are we at right now with like the current time in their like school year? Because as the winter enjoyer, okay, I want to see a Christmas episode. I want to see a Christmas episode before we end.
They're about to go into a remedial year because these kids don't do shit. They're not studying for tests. They're not getting into their top 3.
Hey, listen, they try to study sometimes.
The exams.
They're trying to study and then they make out. Listen.
What are these kids doing? They're not going to have a future.
They're making out. They're having a Yuri future, okay? Is that allowed?
No.
Oh, okay. Listen, I just want my Christmas episode.
Scores?
Their test scores? What about their exams?
Exactly. Who's going to pass their entrance exam? Right now, none of them.
Listen, sounds like Toko's already got a job lined up in the future. Already got a career ready, all right? So, I don't know. Toko will become a famous actress and then they'll both be rich, so neither of them have to work. Well, you won't have to work. Toko will have to be an actress, but it's whatever. Anyways, I want them to be happy. I want to learn more about Maki. We're probably going to see Akari and Dojima, which might be cute. Dojima did step up this week. We'll see about that. And I do want to see more about Koyomi's side story there. I'm very interested in Koyomi's side story. I very much like the writer story. All right. Anyways, this was my thoughts. Turndo, what do you want to happen?
Judging from what happened with the Flapjack Gotcha machine, like they only pulled all plastic Koopas, so something's probably wrong with the timeline. I want to see Koyomi publish a book. He's gonna like write all about her adventures of her Yuri friends. It's gonna get published. It's gonna become a bestseller. And that's about it.
Fair enough. All right. Baguetti, what do you want to have happen? I forget if you've read this before. Have you read this before?
Well, I mean, what I want is death and destruction. Yeah. But
okay, of course.
I'm not gonna get that because they're gonna end up together. I mean, was very clear from the beginning. I don't have kind of imagination when it comes to it's kind of laid pretty clear that they're just going to end up together, and
Yeah.
don't know to what capacity, but I do think that they're ultimately going to have, you know, going to be together and whatever, do whatever, kiss in a closet or something. I don't know.
All right, based. I will say,
Found the non-romance reader.
I will say to
Not
add,
true, actually.
Oh damn! Oh damn! I will say to add on to that, as much as I do enjoy bits of what we got for development for Sayaka, I kind of wish I ever really felt like she was going to be a romantic rival. She kind of hasn't really.
Yeah, that's true.
I've not really felt worried that she was gonna step in and take over compared to Toko. Like, she seems to more so be growing to eventually be able to confess and get rejected. And she fully knows that she's gonna get rejected at this point, probably. But, you know, I don't know. I do like bits of like what her character's going through. I just kind of wish I ever felt like she actually had a chance here, because it doesn't feel like she ever did. I don't know. It's something to like make me worry about who Toko was gonna end up with, I guess, maybe, or whether she was gonna pick anybody, because, you know, there's always a chance of like they don't go into a relation because Toko doesn't want to be with anybody. But at this point, that doesn't seem to be the case either now. So I don't know. Yeah. Anyways, anything else, Spaghetti?
Somebody should have died in that play, man. Somebody should have died in that play.
Yeah, somebody did die, and it was the old version of the main character. Okay, that was the point of it. She's a new character now.
I want the metaphor.
The old version of her character, aka Toko's sister. What? Who said that? Who said that? Well, you did. Toko's sister's dead.
And then they would prove that like this play is actually cursed. It would have been so cool.
Cursed. You wanted to be like a poltergeist situation?
20 years in the future, there'll be a sequel of this series because the author will be like, "Oh my god, I'm gonna write a shonen story about this haunted play. Everyone who does it ends up dying, and I'm a detective, and it's gonna be great." And they can be gay if they want to. I don't know.
All right,
I really want, if you can picture it with me here now, I really want a combination of these two soundboards. Do you understand my thought process? Because that's what I was feeling towards the second half of what Spaghetti was describing.
Sorry, do you just want the sped up grunt, or do you want like the ha ha in the?
Well, because it doesn't exist, I'll leave it up to your interpretation.
Oh, okay, all right.
Damn, the Mineko reference.
Sweet. All right. Let's. I do have we're pretty much wrapping up now. Before we do have a couple quick things, the afterword and bonus memes that we have. So the afterword for volume 5 was the author saying, "I'm traveling a lot these days for work, so I got an iPad Pro and I just kind of draw in cafes now." I think she was also saying she was nervous about doing that, feeling like she was taking up space, so she makes sure that she's like not interrupting or whatever. But I was like, oh yeah, just getting used to the iPad in public or whatever. I got, which reminded me that I have a Android or Samsung Galaxy tablet thing that I'm trying to get more used to being able to use when I'm on the go, though. It's hard to get used to it, though, so hopefully I can get better at it. I wonder if I have to get a new stylus or whatever, but that reminded me of that. I was like, oh my god. Yeah, I gotta lock in. The bonus meme for volume 5 was a rough map of the town, or the location they're in, with the character homes listed. Let me see if I can find that real quick. We could show that on stream. Here we go.
Courtesy of what's his face.
You get a map. Let's see if I can download this and show it on stream. Here you go. Boom. There's the neighborhood. We got, put this right here. School neighborhood rough, extremely rough map. Some details may vary.
Did Maki make this?
Yeah, yes, maybe. Cafe Echo lives elsewhere, but that's where the cafe is. I didn't even realize the cafe was called Echo, I'll be honest with you. Bookstore and home. You get the little you smiley face there. Was that Kari is like next to her, not too far away. Koyomi is not too far either. 2 stops away is wait, is that Toko?
That's
Toko. That's Toko, okay. Maki commutes on bike past mountains and shit to get to school. Good on you, Maki. Sayaka's face in the corner. Oh my god, she's just like eyes closed, just like, huh? Yeah, I'm here too. I'm here too. Down here, all the way down here. I get there eventually. I mean, the school's not too far from where she's at, but everybody lives higher up past the train tracks, and she's just down there. And
well, yeah, she lives in the rich people part of town.
Oh, you know what? It's probably true for Sayaka. It's probably true.
She's a rich girl, yeah.
Dojima's just like, yeah, I'm over here, I guess. Past the river. Bye, guys. Looking at this map.
Quarantine.
Looking at this map, I'm wondering how they keep getting to the river. It's not.
Yeah, I was thinking about that.
It's not on their way home. I understand they say we'll take the long way. That's going out of their way for either.
I think that's actually a very minor mistranslation, because in Japanese they say yorimichi, which is just like straying off the path or going somewhere, like stop, like changing your route and going somewhere else on your while you're generally heading in the direction. So it doesn't actually mean they're not actually adjusting their route. Yeah, it's not quite the same implication of taking the long way, if that makes sense.
The scenic route.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not quite taking the scenic route. I mean, maybe taking the scenic route is a better way to put it.
I just looked at chat.
But it was more just like, do you want to stop somewhere on the way, basically,
right.
or do you want to go somewhere on the way?
I just looked at chat and caught Arya saying Maki's gonna need that map for his stalker database. Oh my god. And just typing discourse. Oh my god. Maki did nothing wrong, okay? He just wants to watch the romance happen. Is that so bad? Okay.
Well, that's what the discourse is about.
Okay, alright, so I understand that with that bit. And then, for volume 6, we got the afterword. Oh god, what was the afterword for this one? It was... Oh yeah, they just mentioned the anime was a thing at around the time this happened. They were saying it's starting in like October, so they got the anime happening at this time, which we will eventually watch as part of our book club viewings. We're a good chunk of the way through the first season of Sailor Moon. Once we're done with the first season of Sailor Moon, we're gonna take a break from Sailor Moon to go watch. We have Pandora Hearts. We got we're gonna have Bloom Into You. I forget if there's another one that we have as well in the backlog, but I know Pandora Hearts is on the list now, so we got that.
Girls Last Toy.
I thought we watched that. We watched that, right?
Did we? Yes. No, we did. I'm an idiot.
Yeah, we did. I almost said that though at first, and I was like, no, wait a minute, we watched. I remember seeing the like rain music scene or whatever. I remember that. I remembered. I just also remembered that anime never got finished and never will get finished, sadly. For the continuation of it. It did not get to the really, really powerful and emotional finale to Girls Last Tour, unfortunately. Anyways, yeah, the volume 6 afterwards didn't really have too much. I think it was just the author saying like So the anime happened, I got to be a little bit involved in the process, and I realized there's a lot of fucking names that are involved in making an anime. It's like, whoa, people. You know? There's like, yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot of people. A lot of people working on this. It's like, yeah, yes, there's a lot that goes into it. You know, it's a lot. And then the bonus point we got was birthdays. We got a list of everybody's birthdays. So let's show the birthday chart. There's one detail about the birthday chart that was immediately like, why did we do it like this? And some people probably know what I'm going to be mentioning. Let's see. Pull this up.
Oh, I think I know.
So we have birthdays. And at the top, we have you at March? 4 is March, right? March 5th? Wait. April?
4 is April.
April. Okay. April 5th. And then April 13th is Miyako, the cafe owner. May 6th is a character who I think we've not had too many scenes about. One of Yu's other friends. Does she actually go to her school, or I don't know if this character actually went to their school. I don't remember.
No, separate schools. They were friends in middle school.
Because I remember they had the scene.
They were in the same club.
Out.
They were in a sports club together in middle school.
I see. Okay. Apparently, she's got a birth date that they felt was important enough to list here. So that's May 6th. And then May 21st is Dojima. June 6th is Yu's sister, Rei. And then Akari's is June 21st. Sayaka is July 29th. September 8th is Riko, the teacher. October 27th, which is going to be... So Riko's birthday like just happened a couple days ago, by the way. So happy birthday, Riko. That was like Monday. And then the next birthday coming up is October 27th, which is Koyomi. Koyomi's birthday is coming up next month, guys. Did you get her a present? Did you get her like an autograph from her favorite author? I hope you did.
No.
Maki's birthday, November 23rd. And then the theater trope kid, I think, the guy who was helping them out, Ichigaya, who I think we also theorized was also the sister's love interest. He's December 7th. Then we get to Toko, who for some reason is down here despite it being February 19th. Why is Toko down here? If everything was in numerical order at first.
Well, because she stole her sister's birthday.
Yeah? Is that how that works?
Yeah, they traded birthdays.
Oh, okay.
Dad, I want you to start celebrating my birthday.
So like she was at the top, and then we scratched it out, and then we moved it to the bottom. So, all right, bye.
Okay, so I do actually have a theory of why it's like that.
I have two theories that I will propose.
Go for it.
One is we just wanted them to be as far away as possible from you, who is at the top. The second has to do with the next page, which was a bonus comic about how Toko was saying. That was going to be my thought. Yeah, it was a bonus comic where we immediately go into saying, you know, if only we had born like a little closer in our or a couple months apart, we might have been in the same class. And you was saying like, if we were in the same class year, I might not have joined the student council or whatever. Something to that effect. But it was still something that like Toko was like interested in knowing what would have happened if they could have been in the same class together in general. Something of that nature. That's most likely what happened, but it still just felt awkward to me looking at this, where I'm just like, February's at the bottom here. Everybody else is in numerical order. Why is that happening? Our love interests are very far apart. The Yuri calendar. I will also say, I love their little faces here. They're all very cute. I also love the little faces that were on the maps. Those were also very cute. Yeah, that's all I really had to say about that. Yeah, I think that was pretty much it. Did we have anything else that we wanted to bring up and or discuss for this week? All right, well.
I said this in the Discord chat, but Rei is amazing. I am part of the Rei fan club.
You're so real for this.
Ray is the sister, right? The Yu sister.
Ray is Yu's sister, yeah.
Okay.
She's great.
Who I think was also preparing a birthday cake for her boyfriend in one of the chapters.
Yep.
How come his birthday's not listed here?
For the 5th time.
Oh, hell yeah. Oh, I'm remembering now.
This is when they went out shopping and Yu tagged along because she wanted to.
Yeah. Well, I remember that, but
so subtly asked those questions.
I remember that, but I also remember the interaction with the sister, giving a recipe or like starting to text with Toko.
Oh yeah.
You know, she was immediately interested in like making something for you for like food or whatever. Yeah. Well, that was.
Yeah, but I really like that that scene, and also just the reflection from Ray on like, man, you know, it'd be probably a little bit difficult for her to date a girl, but we'll make it happen. Well, something will work out, you know.
that was an important
Big
thing
sis
too.
has got your back. Like that was really cute.
She had thought to herself like, Dad will accept it. Grandma will pretty much go with whatever Mom thinks. Mom is the only factor that might worry me, I think was what she said, or something of that nature.
Yeah, that's basically what she said. Yeah.
But she was like, yeah, I got your back either way. Which very, very interesting how, I mean, this was our misunderstanding from I think the first week or whatever, with the whole food versus foot line of dialogue for the dad. Yeah. For those of you who are listening here that weren't familiar, that there was a scene where they're at dinner and they joke like, "Oh, you had a friend come over? Was it a boyfriend?" No, it was a girl. Oh, it was a girlfriend. And the dad made a comment like, "Oh, if that happened, I'd have to put my food down." Like he'd be like shocked. But some versions that people read here said, "I'd have to put my foot down." And so, which has very different implications, of course.
Mistranslation.
Yeah, it's a very, very big mistranslation of that, because very different implications with that. And now this week we got the sister being like, "No, Dad would accept this. I'd be fine with it. It's Mom I'm worried about." And I'm like, oh, I had no idea what Mom's opinion would be about this, other than she's saying, I think her mom at some point had said, "Don't cause trouble for Toko. She seems like a good, like a responsible child," or whatever, something like that. I think,
yeah, but that doesn't necessarily mean anything. I mean,
right? Yeah, that's just like a general like thing. So
yeah,
like I didn't really get any really implications about like the Yu's parents in general. I guess I don't really know much about them other than they own a bookstore. So, yeah, we stand a supportive sister, says Ari, and that's true. We do. So. Oh, wait, Turndo said, waiting for Dojima to start a fight club. And Hajime, our favorite bot in the server, liked it. So I guess Dojima's starting a fight club. It wasn't on my wheel of predictions, but if Hajime thinks so, who am I to argue?
Good for him, honestly.
Yes, Soul, don't worry. I have the cat huffing image on here. Here's your cat huffing.
Soul is so insistent on this.
Here it is. Here's your like cat, Sayaka's cat. Gotta make sure you remember. Don't worry, it's there. you can cat huffing. Sayaka's got a cat and really wanted to pick it up as like a little side image. It's very cute. As she was pondering like, how am I gonna confess my feelings to Toko? She's like, let me go consult my cat real quick. Let me huff the cat real quick. I'm happy now. Who put weed? Weed reacting to cat huffing. Oh my god, it's catnip. Oh my god, there's a lot happening in the Discord server that you in the Twitch chat may not realize, but you could realize it if you went to discord.wolfborg.com and joined the Discord server. You'd be able to see the bonus stuff that they yap about in the Discord chat that I don't have time to read out loud, which is a lot. So if you are interested in that, join there, grab yourself the Anime Book Club roll, and you can hang out in those text channels and see what they're yapping about. And you should especially join there, because next week is the finale of Bloom Into You, which means afterwards we begin the voting process for the next series. So, for everybody here and everybody that's going to be here, keep in mind, we're going to be doing the vote, which means if you haven't been a part of this process before, the way it works is that everybody brings in some suggestions. Give me as many suggestions as you want. Has to be a completed manga series, which means it has to be done. Can't be like on hiatus. Or it has to be done. It has to be a complete series, and it has to be at least 6 volumes. And as long as it meets those requirements, you can suggest it. As long as it's those and it's not primarily ecchi. As long as it's not basically porn. We don't want to be discussing porn for a book club thing. So don't do that. It can have like, you know, ecchi moments or whatever. We just don't want to be discussing something that's like heavily focused on that, I guess. So other than that kind of stuff, as long as it's a completed series, you can propose it. We compile it into a giant list. We do a big general vote at first, and then we pick like the top results of that, usually the top 5-ish, and then we do a secondary vote. And then whatever wins that secondary vote, we actually do. Now, we haven't done one of these votes in a while because when we did a vote last time, I had a series of cons coming up that were going to be interfering with reading schedules of certain ones that were towards the top. So we ended up just picking all 3 and just that were at the top and then changed the order a bit. Which is how we got to Bloom Into You here. Because we started with Girls Last Tour, then I did my cons, then we did Pandora Hearts, which would have been what we originally started, but because we didn't want to stop in the middle of it, and then we're here at Bloom Into You now. So, we're going to be doing the vote next week, and it's going to start, the process usually lasts over that first weekend. We usually have the series picked by like Tuesday, Wednesday-ish of the week after. We're going to be taking a break the week after, is how we usually do it. So next week we're meeting for the finale of Bloom Into You. The week after we'll be taking a break, and throughout that week in between, we'll be doing the vote in the server. So make sure you're a part of that. We'll be going through that process. Aria is typing questions. Minimum 6 volumes, maximum 40. Maximum can be whatever volumes. It can be, we read Umineko and that was like what, 60 volumes, something like that. So maximum can be whatever as long as it's finished. Now, whether or not it wins the vote is a whole different question. You know, whether or not it wins the vote is a different question. People might see that it's like 80 volumes and they might not vote for it. Keep that in mind, because usually when we're listing them, we're also mentioning how many volumes it has, and that sometimes determines people's willingness to vote for it or whatever. So just keep all that kind of stuff in mind. But you can do whatever. So make sure to check out the Discord server, discord.wolfborg.com, if you are interested in being a part of that process. And if you're somebody who wants to listen to these things live when they happen, we are live on YouTube, Twitch, and Kick all at the same time every Thursday at 9 o'clock Eastern Time. You can find all these things at youtube.wolfborg.com, twitch.wolfborg.com. If you go to wolfborg.com in general, you can find my links to all my things there. But usually if you just type in the social media and then .wolfborg.com, you'll find me, like twitter.wolfborg.com, bsky, all that kind of stuff. So make sure you do that, and you can get involved with that kind of stuff directly. And we will be here next week to discuss the finale of Bloom Into You, Volume 7 and 8. Who will survive? Who will die? Hopefully nobody. But who will get together? Who will go through a change? Will people be happy? Will some people be sad? How many of us will cry reading this? How many of us will have thoughts? How is this gonna go? I don't know. I have no idea. I haven't read this book. Some people here have. I haven't. So we'll find out next week on the Anime Book Club here. Let's see who we're going to raid. I'm pretty sure I already know, as long as the stream has not ended. No, it has not. Okay. We're going to be raiding into Rudy, who is showing off a new model while finishing up Donkey Kong Country 2, I believe. So we're going to be raiding into Rudy. Random Man in the chat saying, thanks for the good stream. Thank you so much for hanging out and listening in, Random. I appreciate you. So we're going to be raiding in. We do have a raid message if you are in the Twitch chat and wish to do it. It is right. If I can spell raid. There you go. There it is. That's there. If you would like to use that. And we're going to raid out. Anybody have anything else they want to say before we wrap up the stream? Any final memes? Dreams? Anything in between? Amazing. Cool. Sweet. We will talk to you all next week for the finale. Goodbye, stream. Bye, stream.
Bye.
Bye.
Oh, wait.
Bye.
I forgot to actually hit start raid, so we're gonna have to give it a couple more seconds. There we go. Goodbye, stream. I appreciate you all.
Chap, I can't believe you've done this.
What did I do? I didn't do anything. I'm just trying to read Yuri. Bye, stream. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.